Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. So good to be here with you this morning. Today is Thursday, November 16th, 2023. And I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our EP, the executive producer of the Ben and Woods program. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, is here as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. I'm just hoping for like 50% less crying today on the program.
I'd say that's probably something to shoot for today. I was pretty exhausted when I got out of here yesterday, and but definitely well worth it.
You don't think about it until it happens.
It's draining.
The stress it puts on your body to be sad.
Yes, it's
and
like
grieve.
it's exhausting. It wrecks you after a while. But I'll tell you what, man. I wanted to give a huge shout out to the Tier 1s yesterday, who were the absolute superstars of this program. Now, as a radio show, typically, we don't take a ton of calls. We just don't. We pretty much always have something to talk about.
Not the most interactive show.
We are not
in
the
San
most.
Diego.
Nor
are we the
California.
most local show either.
Right. We do take calls from time to time. Certainly, we like to get the audience involved, but we get a lot of tweets and we get a lot of stuff in the chat as well. So we usually just do that. Sometimes calls go awry. Sometimes somebody will call. The connection's bad. They don't stay on topic. So better not. We don't have a phone screener, so better not risk your life.
Right. In the old days, everyone had a phone screen.
Yeah, 100%.
And you at least have one layer to get through before you got on the air.
That's right.
We rarely get a chance to actually talk to you before you go on the air nowadays.
But yesterday, I got to tell you, we were talking about it before the show, and I went, was it just me, or was every caller yesterday a grand slam? Every single person that called, you were dialed in. You knew exactly what you wanted to say about the late, great Peter Seidler. You were sweet. You were kind. You got to the point. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. And I'm going to tell you guys something else, man. We got in our cars yesterday. I headed straight down to Petco Park.
I almost wrecked my car.
I went straight down to Petco Park and dropped off the card that Bo made. And it was very somber, and it was raining. And so I had to kind of tuck the card up under my jacket. I ran up to the top, put it where it would stay dry.
Isn't it what they did?
It's so beautiful,
it's so nice
man.
Down there. Yeah.
It was beautiful. There were Little League jerseys of kids that had signed. There were baseballs signed. There were tons and tons of flowers. It was so sweet and wonderful. And I sat there for a moment. I bowed my head, said a little prayer, and walked on down the stairs and went back to my home. And before I got to the car, I checked my phone. And we had gotten a three-way text from Craig Huner, who works for the San Diego Padres. Craig's our contact. When we need an interview, we hit up Craig, and that's who we talk to. That's our guy. We love Craig, too. And so Craig texts us. He goes, guys, wonderful show today. Such a classy tribute to Peter. It got me choked up a few times listening to all the stories. We said, no problem, man. That we really enjoyed doing it. We didn't enjoy doing it, but we were honored to be able to do that.
A lot of messages from listeners that said it was cathartic for them.
They said they needed it.
Extremely cathartic for me, at least.
Well, then listen to this, man. So we write back, thanks so much, man. Then he says to us, and this blew my mind. I mean, it had me tripped out the entire day. He said, we really appreciate that, guys. Peter's wife, Sheil, told Tom, Peter's brother, that she was listening and heard how much he was loved by this community, and it really helped lift their spirits. And my jaw hit my chest. And I just started my car at Petco Park, and I was like, I got the sweats, and I was like, oh my God. Just to think, and obviously we didn't have any idea, nor did I have any expectation that would happen. But you guys made that.
Yeah,
you guys
that's a
did
testament
that.
to the Tier 1s that you were able to reach out through the radio and touch them and help them grieve. It's absolutely, it was amazing. I felt the same way.
I was like, it took my breath away for a moment, and that meant everything to me. It just meant everything to me. It's maybe the show I'm most proud of that we've ever done. And holy cow, I couldn't believe that she was listening yesterday. And Hannah, I told Hannah, and she's like, that's amazing. And I said, I'm so surprised. And she said, don't be. She said, that that helped her, when her dad passed away as well. And I said, okay. Yeah, I said, now that I think about it, if it happened to one of these guys or it happened to, somebody, I would absolutely want to hear what people had to say about them and want to experience in that as well. So it made me so very happy that we could help just a tiny, tiny bit. I know that the road of grief is very long and never ending, but holy cow, man, I could not believe that happened yesterday. So again, shout out to all of you guys that called in. Shout out SD, of course, born and raised SD, Ben was. Shout out to all the people out there listening, and to Sheila and the Seidler family. Thank you for listening, and we love you guys, and that is just incredible. Incredible. Blew my mind yesterday.
It was amazing. It was truly, the whole show was, it was heartbreaking, but also inspirational at the same time. And, I agree with you. About as proud of that show. Yeah. Not that because we did anything, just because of the community that we have of anything we have ever done on the air. It was quite the day. Yeah. Now, it leaves us with, I don't want to call it a challenge, but obviously, you take a baby step forward into what happens next, and getting back to our regular. We already had our regular open, and foreplay, and kind of moving back into our normal features and stuff today. Doesn't mean that we're not still thinking about Peter and not still thinking about everybody there with the Padres in Petco Park. We know that this is not just one day you talk about Peter and then you move on to other things sort of loss, but it is also just part of the process that, we're going to start moving on and talking about the Padres off-season moves that they're going to have to make, and other things going on in sports and beyond. So that's just kind of where we are right now. I think for me, it's like, how do you make that step forward today into just maybe what's kind of next without being disrespectful or feeling like you're not forgetting Peter at all? But that is just part of the process as we go forward. Yeah, it absolutely is. And we talked about it yesterday. The impact of Peter Seidler will never go away, ever. And he will be forever in this city. You will always feel his presence at Petco Park. He will always be top of mind or back of mind when you're in Petco Park. It's the first thing I thought of when I was driving down yesterday, Ben. Took a left down one of the streets, I can't remember, K Street or something, and I'm staring dead ahead at Petco Park. And I went, like that, right? And I saw all the seats, and I just remembered the shot of him standing on the field, arms crossed, looking up at the full Petco Park, and I thought, man, you're never gonna forget that. He's going to be around forever, and a huge part of this organization. So I'm not worried about ever not honoring his memory, because I think that's something that most San Diegans are going to do for the rest of their lives. So many people talked yesterday about, all right, what a great example. What a great man to live your life like. Do the best that you can. And I saw a lot of people yesterday even getting involved in things, signing up for the Lucky Duck Foundation. I found out yesterday, if you sign up for the Lucky Duck Foundation newsletter, it's like an emailed newsletter, they donate a pair of socks. Everybody that signs up, that's all you got to do. Put your email in.
Saw that.
They donate a pair of socks, so do that. I just started, if you want to help.
Like 2 weeks ago, I bought Bombas socks for the first time. I'm wearing them right now.
And they do that.
They are the best socks I've ever had.
Why Bombas?
Why Bombas?
Simply the best.
Not a sponsor. They're the best socks I've ever purchased. You wear shoes that you like, you should probably have good socks on as well. It's part of the foot. They're fantastic, and every pair that you buy, they donate a pair to somebody in need. Yeah. And I think that is just outstanding, and I could not recommend it higher enough.
Yeah, there you go. They're great socks. I have a couple pairs of those as well. But yeah, there's people actually out there getting involved now based on, the man that Peter Seidler was. So just a really Really special day. To get that text yesterday was so. I can't tell you how special it was, and just to know. Now, I will say this: I'm really glad. I'm really glad Craig did not text us before the show and go, "Hey guys, just so you know, Shield's listening." I would have soiled myself in here. I would have died. I would have, you would have seen the biggest stuttering, blathering idiot you've ever seen in your life. So, thanks for telling us after. But we are so happy that they were able to listen yesterday and that it helped them even a tiny bit.
And of course, they're all still in our thoughts. And I realized that maybe there were a lot of tier ones who tried to get through yesterday, couldn't. We will keep the phones open today. Maybe not quite as 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we did yesterday, but I think in our 7 o'clock hour, maybe again in our 8 o'clock hour, we don't have any guests scheduled, so we do want to keep that opportunity open if you didn't get through, or maybe it was too soon yesterday and now you feel like there is a story I wanted to share or a memory of Peter. So we will have that opportunity coming up a little bit later. 833-288-0973. Of course, we will also talk about Blake Snell winning the Cy Young Award yesterday, and congratulations to Blake, the fifth Padre to ever win that honor as the best pitcher in the National League. We'll get to our regular features as well today. We got Real or Fake. It's Thursday. We haven't really played any Take on Woods this week, but we do give it an opportunity to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas. Don't Do This is back, and more. It's Thursday. We'll even have a football threesome today. So we'll get back to all of our regular features. Daily Ditty is coming up next. The theme is artists known for wearing glasses.
Who picked this theme?
Well, the listener...
So you lost on Friday.
Yeah, I've lost 2 in a row. I want to die.
And the listener for Monday's Daily Ditty chose Elvis Costello. Okay. And there was no theme, though. He just chose the song.
Okay.
So we weren't sure what to do, so we just kind of impromptu on the fly on Monday.
Guy's named Elvis.
Yeah, we could have done that, but I said, he wears glasses, right? Paulie's known for wearing glasses
people that wear glasses.
Stage. And I thought, let's open it up to the world of glasses-wearing artists.
We all wear glasses, so yeah.
There you go.
I chose Ozzy Osbourne on Tuesday. We did not do a Daily Ditty yesterday.
So now it's my turn to choose today, correct?
Yep.
All right, we will get to that coming up next. It is Ben and Woods. Good Thursday morning to you, Tier 1. So glad to have you with us again here on San Diego's #1 sports station. Wet roadways always impacts the traffic. Let's get our first check this morning from Kelly Danick here on 97.3 The Fan.
was thinking the same thing.
Prescription glasses, but he wears glasses. Outside by Stevie Wonder. Is that problematic?
No, not at all. Not for me.
Glasses.
No.
I love Stevie Wonder,
Stevie Wonder too.
and you followed the theme.
He absolutely wears glasses.
Didn't realize that was going to be such an issue this morning.
No issue. None whatsoever. Definitely wears glasses. He wears them. Ray Charles wears them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the only qualifier for
Just
this
glasses.
week's theme.
Okay.
Artist known for wearing
Known
glasses.
for wearing glasses. Got it. It's a good one. Next one. Next week we'll do artist known for wearing shoes. He wears shoes, and he's a hell of a singer. So I'm going with Sam Cooke here. Next,
It was more,
beltless artists.
It was more for us a lack of not really having a whole lot to say on Elvis Costello.
You needed me here. is
Yeah,
what
we
you
needed
say.
you
needed
here
me
on Monday.
and I get it. I absolutely
For that Daily Ditty selection, I'm going, right, he wears glasses, right? That's the theme.
Beltless artists make me laugh. You have to pour through magazines to find the guy not
Where's the
wearing
drawstring guy? Where
Holy cow. Feels good to laugh, be with you guys this morning. We were just talking about, and we'll get to our Thanksgiving content. I mean, it's a thing. Like, I can't go. I look forward to talking about
1 week from today.
1 week from today. We feast.
Early this year.
Is it early?
Well, I don't think it can be much earlier than the 23rd.
That's true.
Because I think it's the last
It's the last
Thursday
Thursday.
of November, except when it falls on the 30th, because they don't want to have it on the last day of November.
Is that right? I didn't know
Yeah, or
that.
maybe it's the last 2 days. I don't know, but the 23rd is about as early as you can get a Thanksgiving, I
Well,
think.
I am absolutely here for it. I love Thanksgiving, one of my favorite days of the year.
This is from a couple years ago. It says the earliest date for Thanksgiving is November 22nd.
So you could do it 1 day earlier,
1 day
but this is
earlier.
pretty early for Thanksgiving.
Well, you're doing it like 5 days
Yeah,
early.
we're going to do ours on Saturday at my mom's because I'm working next Thursday. My brother and they're going to the desert for their own Thanksgiving with the in-laws, and my mom's going up with my sister and her family, I think, up in Los Angeles. So we thought, let's all get together when we can and do it a little bit early, like a non-traditional Thanksgiving, so you're not just repeating the old turkey meal over and over again
Yeah,
for
having
everybody.
like 4 turkey meals.
Right.
What are you guys having instead?
Like a roast of some sort, like beef roast.
Like
I
your
know
dad's just going to sit up there and you guys insult him.
a roast. That sounds amazing, actually. Can we do that for Thanksgiving? I've
roast.
changed my mind. Let me tell you about this piece of mess, all right? I love roast, by the way.
You're a roast guy.
There's
Technically, anything you put in the oven is pretty much a roast.
Any
because
beef?
You roast it.
any beef is
Like there's roast chicken and
there
there's
is roast chicken, roast pork.
roast beef, roast pork. Just that's a style of cooking. where
Roasting
you
it.
You cook it in an oven for a long time.
So when you say we're having roast,
I think this is beef. though.
beef.
We're having beef.
I think beef.
I think, yeah.
I love a roast.
Pot roast.
I love pot roast. My God, do I
Pot
love
roast
pot
usually is cooked in some sort of liquid to braise as well, so it's kind of, it starts, pulling apart. That I don't know if it's that kind of roast or more of a
like a beef
roast
tenderloin.
yeah, something like that.
Now, this is a great transition because I'm starting to get hungry talking about roasts. We're going to have breakfast this morning.
Yeah,
Right.
we've got the. This is a bit that this is pre.
My favorite bit the station does.
This is. You've never had it?
No, we did it, I think, last year or
No.
2 years ago.
Did we? I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's back for the first time.
It's the manager's breakfast.
It's the manager's breakfast. Now we're not managers, right?
It's not for the manager. The
The
managers,
managers cook us breakfast.
put on breakfast
They
for
did
us
an
common
omelet thing
employees.
a couple years
Oh, they did. Okay,
a year
then
or
it's
two ago.
then that's it.
Then
It's-
why
it's
haven't
amazing.
I seen Adam Klug in a toque, one of those chef's hats? That's what I'm really hoping for
He's
this
out
morning.
of town. So
He's not even here for the manager's
Did you catch the
breakfast.
game last night?
He took off for the manager. He does not want to serve us.
Have you tried the lasagna?
'Cause-
It's my favorite.
No, Adam, I don't want the lasagna. It's 8:00 in the morning. But they're going to be feeding
All
us
right.
at 8. So at 8:00, we're supposed to be on the air. I may have Paulie just play some elevator waiting music as we go get our omelets or whatever. I'm going to get a fresh omelet made by the managers here.
They really do like cook omelets to order.
To order.
JR is like the lead engineer. He is a wizard with the omelets.
Yeah, he's so good with
They're
it.
going to have some pancakes.
Yeah,
Or
blueberry
something.
pancakes. Please order some blueberry. Can you make me blueberry pancakes?
And a slice of blueberry pie.
A slice of blueberry pie for my
And a
pot
glass
belly.
of orange juice.
For my pot belly. Please, blueberry pancake. Love that bit. So they're going to feed us today. That's probably pretty interesting to all you guys out there driving to work that they're going to feed us. But that's something that they do here that's very cool.
Well, if at 8:05 you just hear us.
Bigger question for
They
them
lost.
too. Can that beat stay
CBS
healthy?
Sports
How
Radio.
many years in a row now? Ronnie Stanley went down again.
Let's listen to this.
All world left tackle. I worry about health number one with that team.
I do too.
Odell Beckham Jr.
I'd
looks
like
great
to
in
just
the 40-yard
comment along to
touchdown
another
pass.
show
How many
for
hits
the
did that
entire
do
show
before
and
getting
just make
injured?
fun of them.
We could do that maybe in
Yeah.
December.
Next day that I'm on vacation,
Me
the
and Paul
Woods
can
and
do it?
Paul can just comment on.
He's always
What's going on.
Criticize Maggie and Perloff.
It would be. It's a great bit.
all-time high for him.
Listen.
But I just worry that Baltimore's going to run into the same problem they do every
Yeah.
year. They get
Yeah,
hurt.
for sure.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. I just want to quickly get the spread on that game.
Yeah.
We just had 3.5 in the
3.5.
read.
There you go. Okay, so
Ravens by 3.5 tonight.
Ravens by
Thursday night
3.5.
football. You can hear it right here on 97.3 The Fan. Pretty decent Thursday night game.
It's a damn good Thursday night game.
Bengals Ravens. I'll probably talk about it during our football threesome a little bit later, but it is a decent game you can hear here on. Actually, Monday night's awesome. It's Chiefs Eagles Monday night,
That's a
and
great
it's
game.
Bengals Ravens on Thursday night. So after a string of like putrid primetime games the last couple of weeks, just one after another, they actually have a pretty decent slate this week for the primetime action.
Yeah, it should be really, really good games. I'd like to talk more about roast at some point today. So we
Fine.
can get
I mean,
back to
food
that.
at the office, we laugh. No one cares if someone else is having food in the office.
Until
But
it
I know,
happens to
like,
you.
at Channel 10, if there's ever food at the office, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened.
It's like jackals, though. People like lose their mind. My thing is, I liked getting served by the managers. That's what makes me putting them to work for once. You know how managers are. All they do is they walk around and dictate, and to put them actually to work for us makes me feel good. We do a lot for them. Right? To put them to work for us feels good.
I have no idea, actually, what they do. I'm sure they work, right? There's things that they must be doing all day long. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Adam
And
does
closing deals, I would think, at some side of the building
You
somewhere.
think Adam is over closing
No,
deals?
maybe not.
All right,
I know Adam tweets a lot
He
from
tweets
our
a lot.
account.
He does. Not our account,
You know,
97.3.
cuts like press conference audio and puts it onto our 97.3 The Fan Twitter account.
No, he's out of town, so he won't be doing any of that today.
No omelets from Adam.
Nope.
Fair enough. They will still taste good, I would imagine.
All right, let's get it together.
All right, we will come back. There's some breaking news out of Major League Baseball and the owners' meetings. I can't say.
Before you could say blueberry pie.
Blueberry pie.
Maybe not that fast.
Can't say that it's good news necessarily.
Nope.
But there is news out of the Major League Baseball owners' meetings. We'll get to that coming up. We'll talk about Blake Snell's Cy Young Award win as well. All next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Breaking news out of the MLB owners' meetings. First, this hour of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Smart & Final. Score a Turkey Day touchdown when you shop your whole feast in one trip, and that's it at Smart & Final. Use promo code SFThanks for free delivery on your next order. Obviously, this was not going to be stopped.
Correct.
By the owners. If you had hope, like there was going to be some last-minute change of heart, and the owners would gather together and deny John Fisher his request to relocate the Oakland A's to Las Vegas, you're dreaming. It was never going to happen, and it didn't. According to multiple reports and sources, MLB owners have unanimously just, what is it, rubber stamped the move of the A's to Las Vegas, and they will begin play officially in 2028. Now,
2028.
Apparently, there's still no decision on what happens between now and then. It's going to take several years for their new stadium, where the Tropicana is currently located, right there on the Strip. You know, where the MGM and Excalibur and New York, and the other corner. Those are the three corners, and the other corner will be the Oakland or the Las Vegas A's stadium to play baseball there, but it's not going to be there for a while. So where do you go? Do you go and play in the minor league ballpark for a few years? Do you stay in Oakland for, 1, 2, 3, 4 more seasons?
Oh my God!
Of 4 lame duck years.
We're not here in the long term. And
we're not really here. We're here, but we're not really
they
here.
Were already getting crowds of about 2,500 people before they officially announced they're going to Las Vegas. Staying doesn't seem like a great solution, but, playing in a non-retractably roof-covered stadium in the hot summer of Las Vegas for 4 years doesn't necessarily seem like a great idea. So, the devil, they say, is in the details, and I don't think they've worked out every logistical angle of this move, but it is going to happen. They did approve it today, and they will be the Las Vegas A's at some point.
Take the under on total wins next year for the Oakland/Las Vegas A's.
A very low number.
I mean, my God. Yeah, what are they going to set it at? 33? Maybe take the over on that, but, anything 45 or below, I would take it. I feel terrible for the fans, obviously. That was a top tier organization at one point. I mean, a juggernaut of an organization. Some of the best players of our youths, Ben, came up through the Oakland A's, and it really didn't stop. They were a talent farm for players. Now, most of those players went on to make big bucks in other places, as we all know. But
it's been a long time.
I loved them. I named my adult baseball team after them because I loved their uniforms. I loved the
green tops, the solid green tops.
I loved
great.
The way that they played the game of baseball back when we were growing up. I'm just super bummed for their fans. I'm super bummed for, what are you thinking right now? Like, I love Mark Kotze. I've talked to Mark before. He's a really good dude, and I know his wife Jamie as well. They're great people. Mark Kotze was re-upped to be the manager. What is he feeling today? Is he like, okay, I mean, probably a good, but is he going to be there in 2028 to see this through?
I would say if I'm Mark Kotze, I only concern myself with trying to get the most out of my players and help them develop as best as possible as, baseball players, and not really concern myself with where the team is going to be or any part of that. My job is on the field. We're going to try to win ball games. We're going to try to be better than we were last year. That's the only thing that matters to me.
So here's an update here. It says A's won't have a permanent home from 2025 to 2027 because their lease to play in the Oakland Coliseum is up after 2024. So they will play there this year. And then the Vegas move is expected to happen in 2028. A's plan to play in their AAA park in Nevada, Oracle Park in San Francisco, and more. Imagine that. You're like a commuter.
How big is the Sphere? Can they just play in there for 3 years?
That's a good idea. Now that you're going to have to rip all the seats out and stuff, or it'd be a very small ballpark. Yeah, he hit 17 home runs tonight, and A's lose by 40. I just feel terrible for them. I feel if you're a young player, you're excited. Like You'll play anywhere. You're used to playing on crap fields, but if you make it to the big leagues and you're going to be in the starting 9, you're like,
I was thinking about that when you mentioned Kotze. Like, how's he feeling? I'm like, well, obviously, you don't even say it. Obviously, you're thankful to be there, have that job. There's only one of 30 of those jobs. It's after that, of course, that blanket statement. Then how is he really feeling?
I see.
Of course, a player's happy to be on a major league roster.
I see a big poster board. Okay. If it's in green, we're here. If it's in orange, we're in San Francisco.
Who's going to be the first player who goes to the wrong place for a home game at some point for the Oakland A's?
I mean, if it has to be this much, if there's this much red tape to get around, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? It's just they've thrown this guy a massive lifeline. He's going to get tons of money. He's going to get public money to build a state-of-the-art stadium, and he's going to be the one that comes out on top while, thousands of fans get screwed.
I do have to say, and rest assured, solidarity, I'm 100% with Oakland A's fans. This never should have happened. They needed to come up with a solution, just like with the Chargers, to keep that team in that town with the history and the support that they have had. The reality, though, and I don't think either of you guys are going to deny this, if the Padres were going to play a road game against the A's, I would probably consider going to Las Vegas to see them play. I don't think I'd be going up to the Coliseum to watch a Padres-A's game.
I had some friends that went last year, and they had a freaking blast, but probably because you have 14 seats to yourself.
There is an appeal to thinking, I can go for a weekend. Hey, the Padres playing the A's.
Yeah, I'd do that.
In May in Vegas, and we can do a weekend, and we go to Vegas, and we get tickets to the games.
Damn near be 40 years old when they start playing.
And Paulie's already making reservations to go to a Las Vegas A's Padres game when they move in 2028.
Damn right.
I would see that.
So
why wouldn't you go?
The reality
Sounds
of
like a
that
blast.
is there is an appeal, I would think. Now, is that enough to carry a franchise in Vegas and make them successful? I don't really think so. But as an opposing fan who might consider going to a road game, I would definitely consider going to a Las Vegas road game. The novelty of it,
it's
stadium
not like
on
an
the
NFL
strip.
game, though.
It's not, and they're not.
20,000 people from Wisconsin are like, oh yeah, Vegas in December.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Are the Brewers fans going to go? Yeah, we got to make the trek down to maybe. I mean, for a weekend
handful of them,
sure.
but it's going to be for 3 days.
Excuse me. Good point in the chat here by Jake. Plus, the local Vegas residents are getting a crappy owner. They'd be better off with expansion as a baseball fan in Vegas. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, we're going to now get this turd from Oakland, and he's going to come here and run this team. Now, and also, is he magically going to say, now that we're here, and now that I'm making all this cash, I'm really ready to spend some money in 5 years or whatever it's going to be.
He's going to have. I mean,
you have to.
He's going to have to, at least for a few years, to try to win over a fan base. There's no way he can make the move and still have the lowest payroll in baseball.
Dominic says that the AAA Vegas Park is nowhere near the Strip.
No, it's way out. I think like Summerlin.
Summerlin is really far. That is terrible.
It used to be the Padres affiliate long ago, the Las Vegas Stars. Now are they 51 still, I think?
Yeah, that sounds right.
But you're going to share that ballpark with the AAA team for a while, or does the AAA team go away? I don't really know how this is all going to work.
It's incredible. It's just incredible.
You can tune in to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti tomorrow night at 6 p.m. here on 97.3 The Fan as they preview all the weekend's NFL action. It is also free on the Odyssey app, presented nationally by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos, brought to you by those who drink it, and by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. Get into Blake Snell and his Cy Young Award win right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air conditioning company. Got a few problems here, guys. Crash on the Via Rancho Parkway off-ramp, southbound 15. Also traveling on the southbound 67 at Winter Gardens. A vehicle went over the right shoulder embankment. Keep in mind some slick roadways, all due to some mist, even light rain in some parts of the county, so always a good idea to take it extra carefully, especially on those transition ramps. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company, with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,100 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
see what we got the next start. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Start moving. Uh-oh. Look at Manny. Look at him go. Look at him go.
Manny
now
scored.
We're talking.
Throw to third.
Safe.
Save.
Come on. Look at him. My man.
I don't know if Blake Snell's numerous appearances with Don and Mudd on the television broadcast actually helped his Cy Young candidacy. I think it was more the pitching when he was not on with those guys. It didn't hurt him, though. It was always entertaining, and yesterday it was made official. Blake Snell, your 2023 National League Cy Young Award winner. Of course, it's his second Cy Young Award, also won in 2018 with the Tampa Bay Rays, makes him just the 7th pitcher all-time to win a Cy Young in both leagues, and
I like that.
Just the second left-hander to do it, joining the big unit, Randy Johnson. It is a list of Hall of Famers, essentially. You know, Pedro and Clemens and the guys who have won Cy Youngs in both leagues.
Is the big unit nickname about his wiener?
It's reportedly, yes, about that.
That's a great nickname. You guys would like you to start calling me the,
it helped
the big unit.
The confusion is that he's like
he was also
6'11"
tall,
or something, 6'10".
What a nickname. Thunderhog. Hey, where did you get that? Well, you know,
I think it was enough of a double entendre
that
with his
worked.
height that you could get away with it in Major League Baseball.
The big unit. My God.
But congratulations to Blake Snell. Yeah, you digress slightly.
Thank you.
So he found out live on MLB Network on their reveal show yesterday. I was watching it. He had like 59 people in his living room for the announcement. I mean, he said they were friends and family. It looked like all of Seattle was invited over to Blake Snell's house.
Really cool, man.
To get the good news, and they cheered, and then they interviewed him on MLB Network, and Paulie has some of that audio.
What does a second Cy Young mean to you?
Yeah, it means the work I'm putting in is it's paying off, it's working, and got to keep chasing it. So being able to win another one is it's a pretty amazing thing.
Blake, you know, there's a guy that comes in Atlanta, and he gives everybody a head start, the freeze, right? And everybody tries to beat him. Is that kind of what you tried to do in June and July? Let everybody else get ahead in the Cy Young race, and then in August and September, you just come and swoop in and take it away?
I mean, it sounds good, but no, I mean, I try to dominate from the start. It just, sometimes it doesn't go that way. You got to learn the game, learn yourself, and then, you know, as Pedro knows, you know, I mean, once you get in a rhythm and a groove, you can take it as far as you want, but it's all about how you're talking to yourself and what you're learning from every start.
Now, sorry, cut it off there. Blake won the 2023 Cy Young, right? Because that sounds like a comment made maybe after 2022, slow start, and then picking it up in August and September. I mean, he was pretty dominant all year long.
No, April into May he had like a 5 ERA or something.
But not August, not like August into September.
He got started a little bit earlier this year than in other seasons, but he definitely didn't get off to a great start. No one.
Remember, he got crushed on opening day.
Yeah,
and
he was like 0-5 or something. I mean, no one
got crushed. It was like the third start. It was in Atlanta. He got absolutely.
I want you to play the rest of it though, because he talks a little bit about like where he got locked in. It was specifically that game against the Rays when he faced his old team. I think it was June 17th, and then he goes on and talks more about how really changing his mindset. And Ruben Niebla was part of this. On the walks was huge for him this season.
It's massive.
Well, Blake, talking about rhythm and groove. You know, I want to know, and I'm anxious to know, what was the turning point for you to actually get so consistent at what you wanted to do? Where was the turning point for you that you think helped you to become right now the Cy Young in the National League?
I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of got me to this point. I would say there was one start, the start in Colorado this year, that kind of turned the page for me. And then when I faced Tampa again, I just went on a run after that. I felt so confident. I knew what I was doing. And that start kind of just took off. And then every start past that just kind of snowballed in what made this season.
Blake, it's Dan again. We had you on after one of your games late. And you made a great statement. Greg and I were on MLB tonight, and you said you finally have come to terms with the fact that you're going to walk guys. That's part of your game, but you're not going to let it upset you anymore. And I thought that was a big transformation. You accepted the kind of pitcher you are. And I think from that point on, you're like, okay, I'm going to walk some people, but I'm going to get some dudes out too.
Yeah, I tried to be a pitcher that I wasn't. So I tried to, I can't walk guys. And when I walked, more than two, I'd get so mad at myself, like, you're better than that, stop doing this. And I was more worried on what other people were saying. Then I kind of just looked in the mirror and said, I know how good I am. And if I walk guys, that's okay for me. I'm different, and I believe that I have such good stuff. And I know that one walk it's not gonna end my success or end the game. So by me doing that and understand I'm different, but I'm really good at being different, that confidence kind of took over, and then I became the pitcher that I am today and striving to be moving forward.
I feel like that's the quote right there. That could even be maybe on Blake Snell's tombstone one day.
Whoa.
I'm different, but I'm really good at being different.
Yeah, man. And accepting your perceived flaws is a huge part of success. It's a huge part of success. Once I stopped trying to be Ben and became me on the air, my life changed dramatically.
I'm different, but I'm really good at being different.
Our show changed. You say, hey, I'm good at this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I loved that. That is just a total mindset change.
And by the way, a lot of the credit for that mindset change goes to the returning pitching coach for the San Diego Padres, Ruben Niebla.
Love Ruben, man.
Worked with him on that mentality. It worked incredibly well for Blake Snell, and he is now a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and poised to cash in big time as a free agent at this moment.
I mean, you couldn't have set it up for yourself any better. Go out and win a Cy Young and be dominant. I mean, nobody stranded more runners than he made. He made all of the messes and then went and cleaned them up every single time. It was just incredible. What a season.
You could have maybe asked the 6 people who came to watch the ceremony, like no toddlers, no dogs that are all barking.
People like their families, Ben. Good Lord.
Wasn't great for the background noise.
Hey, I'm having people over. It's adults only, though. Okay, so
You've
leave
never
your
gone
kids.
to one of those parties?
Adults only. It's not an orgy. It's just a
key
celebration.
party. Have you ever been to a key
I've never
party?
been to a key party. I'd like to, but it wasn't a key party for his Cy Young celebration. Leave your kids at home. We don't know how weird it's going to get tonight after I win a Cy Young. But congratulations to Blake. I was very, yesterday was an emotional day. It was a tough day. Seeing him win it and then thinking he might pitch somewhere else really broke my heart in two. But I was very happy for him. And he's a good dude. And he was really, really funny when we had him on like 3 years ago.
He did say what he was looking for. He said, I pretty much haven't thought about free agency much, knowing the Cy Young thing was coming up. But I believe he said...
I got it.
You got the quote?
Yeah, he said the 2 most important things he's looking for in free agency: who can help me be the best version of myself. Well, he's here.
Padres feel like they'd be a good candidate to be the best version of himself.
And then what team is in a position to win for years to come? He said it's tough because he loves San Diego and he doesn't know what will happen with the Padres. So he's feeling all the uncertainty that Padres fans are feeling as well.
Although when he says that, it makes you think like, well, if you can convince Blake that, we're still in a good place and we're still going to be, World Series competitive for the next several years, he knows that he gets the best out of himself here and he loves San Diego. You'd think that he'd want to give the Padres as much consideration as possible if they're even allowed to make an offer for Blake Snell, given the financial constraints that we don't know exactly where they are.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that works out. So congratulations to Blake Snell. He also had some great comments on Peter Seidler. The audio is not great, but I think we should play those for you.
No doubt.
When we come back as well. We'll do that next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Talked about the Las Vegas move for the A's. Also, some more rule changes being discussed at the owners' meetings. We'll get into that coming up. This segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by the Golf Mart. Also going to play Real or Fake here in a few minutes. You want to get online, try to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas. The A's won't be there yet, sorry. 833-288-0973. You can get online to play our game here in just a couple of minutes. Wanted to play a little more Blake Snell audio. Now, this wasn't from the MLB Network interview. This was a Baseball Writers Association of America conference call that took place afterwards. And Blake was asked about, obviously, the passing of Peter Seidler. And as you can imagine, it was an emotional moment for Blake Snell.
He was just the most genuine and pure soul. He was just such a great man. And I know today, if he was with us, I know he would have called me and he would have said, how proud he was and repping San Diego, and that means a lot. But everyone who knows Peter knows he's just the most gentle soul that is so loving nonstop. So it definitely hurts not to have him here, and he's one of the best. So it's definitely going to be tough for San Diego and what he's built, moving forward.
Makes me sad all over again. I told the story yesterday, if you missed it, about when they were courting Trey Turner. And Trey Turner, of course, drafted here and was moved. And Peter Seidler met with him, in person and said, we want you here. And whatever Philly or any East Coast team is offering you, we'll match it. We'll do better. And Trey ended up doing what he felt was right for him and his family. His wife's from the West Coast or the East Coast, I believe, and wanted to be back on the East Coast. No problem. And then he said he felt he owed it to Peter Seidler to make a personal phone call to say, thank you for your candor. Thank you for your offer. And he said he was nervous to make the call. He said he was very nervous to make that phone call in person to Peter Seidler to let him know, despite your best efforts, I've taken the job in Philly. And when Peter said to him, man, that's okay. That's okay. We're in this together. We're here to help grow the game. I mean, it ripped my soul out yesterday. So I have no doubt the phone call from Peter Seidler to Blake Snell yesterday would have been incredible and beautiful and all of that, even knowing Snell is about to hit free agency and probably, for all intents and purposes, will not be a San Diego Padre moving forward. But that's the kind of human being he is. That's the kind of example he is.
Like Trey Turner, I remember feeling nervous when I would talk to Peter Seidler.
Yeah.
But that was entirely 100% self-generated.
No question.
Peter never did anything to make anybody feel nervous.
No.
He only made people feel important and cared about and interesting. I mean, he's such a good listener, like genuinely caring about what you were saying, really interested in your life and your family, not pretentious in the least bit. I mean, again, we talked about it yesterday. Never would think the guy was a billionaire walking down the street. He simply was a person who cared about other people. So that nerves from Trey and from me and you when we talked to him, that was simply our own insecurities or whatever, creeping in, but nothing Peter ever did to make us feel that way.
Yeah, no question about it. And again, I am massively excited for Blake. I was a longtime Blake defender. I knew he would throw big innings for the San Diego Padres. He did. It is shocking when you think about it. I've seen a couple of these comments in the chat. You look at some of the individual accomplishments from this team this year, and they're staggering. They're staggering. Platinum glove, 2 Gold Gloves, Cy Young Award winner, Silver Slugger, and you're like, we didn't make the playoffs. It's amazing. It truly is one of those. It gives me more
closer with the best ERA in the game.
It gives me more ability to flush it though and say, okay, weird one, anomaly. You didn't hit with runners in scoring position. Let's move on. Let's do better at it next year.
It would if you didn't think that the Cy Young guy and the closer and the Silver Slugger guy were all going to be
leaving,
gone potentially next season. That's
for sure.
I think that's part of the worrisome thing for Padres fans is what is it really going to look like next year. But I've been on record here saying I'm okay with letting Blake Snell depart because I don't know that he he can be worth what he is going to get paid on the open market in free agency with Scott Boras as his agent. And is he really a different pitcher, or is he going to get off to another slow start, until July, until he gets locked in? I have no doubt that by the end of the season, Blake Snell will put up pretty decent numbers, but
You're the best pitcher in the league. Yeah. Literally. There's only one direction you can go.
Decent numbers at $12 million is very different than decent numbers at $26 million, or whatever, he may be able to get on the open market.
But does the rest of the rotation feel like have some pressure put on you to go out and make a move that you maybe wouldn't otherwise do? Or are you just going to run it out there with Waldron and Avila?
I don't know. I mean, you have to find pitching somewhere.
Because apparently we're trying to trade Scott Barlow for $7 million, so maybe we don't have any money at all, and we can't bring back a Lugo.
We'll find out when we find out on that. I mean, we have no answer on that for you at this point, and no one else does either.
Yeah, I don't know what their plan is, and you'd be foolish to let people know what your plan is. No, we've got $46 million to spend, and we're going to spend it on 3 pitchers and a bullpen guy. I do know that
what we thought the Padres were going to spend every other offseason the last 4 years was not what they actually spent.
Correct. It's always more.
It's been more every single time than what we thought the budget was going to be.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to be the case this year. I don't know that it's not.
We've heard $200 million. Now, does that mean, no, it's really 175, or it's really 220, or it's exactly $200 million? Because if it was really exactly $200 million, it'd be the first time we've ever been given an accurate number on the payroll. I kind of tend to think that we're still not getting a totally accurate number. So my only concern here with Blake, and then we'll play some real or fake. When you hear him talk about, that new mentality with the walks, is that something that will now carry over? And
Correct.
Instead of, battling for 2 or 3 months, that he will jump right into a season locked in? Because if he did that, like if he's April and he is dominating and I don't care if I walk guys, I'm just attacking, and he can go through a season, he can be like a 1.8 ERA guy and back up that Cy Young with another Cy Young next year. Then all of a sudden you are talking about a guy who might be worth the kind of free agent money he's going to get this offseason.
He's such an interesting player to follow and cover because he doesn't do it the traditional way, and he does his own thing, and he knows his body. For all the grief that he took about video games, and I've heard more comments about the dark circles under his eyes that make me sick to my stomach. I can't stand that stuff. I honestly don't think the guy's up drinking Mountain Dew, playing Call of Duty at 6 a.m, on the day he has a start, and it's obvious that he went out and absolutely shoved this year. Let's try to stay off of things like that. I mean, unless you see the guy out carousing at 3 o'clock in the morning, that dude he stayed home. He knows his body. He knows how to pitch. He knows what's best for him. He worked really well in tandem with Ruben Niebla. Like guys like that, he's just such an interesting guy to cover because I think he made every start this year too.
Yeah,
he was our workhorse.
And the relationship that he had with Gary Sanchez
was
just
fantastic.
Staggering.
Yeah, fantastic.
People in the chat have already posted some of the numbers, and it's like his ERA with Sanchez, his ERA with literally anybody else. Yep. You're like, what is happening?
And we don't know if Sanchez is going to be back either. Yeah. I think the one negative that always holds true with Blake Snell, and this is almost a testament to his ability, is that because he gets so much swing and miss, and because he is going to walk guys, and he's not afraid to do it now, he's always going to be a high pitch count guy. Mm-hmm. And you're never really going to be able to count on him for more than an average of, 5.5, 6 innings, maybe 6.5 per start. And that's really what you're going to get. And if you need a pitcher who's going to eat more innings, and you want guys who go into the 7th or even the 8th, which is barely even in existence nowadays in Major League Baseball, he's not going to be the guy for you. You have to accept if you sign Blake Snell. And the Padres didn't do it when they traded for him. They felt like, Tampa Bay, they're underusing him. They keep pulling him too early. No, Tampa Bay knew what they were doing. Blake Snell is a 6-inning pitcher, and he's always going to be a 6-inning pitcher going forward. And if you're okay paying for premium prices for a 6-inning dominant pitcher, then you'll be very happy, I think, with the Blake Snell you get. But don't try to turn him into the guy who's throwing complete games and Sandy Alcantara and, he went 8 and 8 1/3 and 7 2/3. It's not Blake Snell. It's never going to be Blake Snell. No. Don't try to make that, and Blake better sign somewhere where they're okay with that, because that's what's best for Blake Snell.
Yeah, my biggest fear is that he's going to end up somewhere in the West, back in San Francisco, reunited with Bob Melvin, or in L.A. And I know they need pitching and would love to have Blake Snell. And Blake Snell owns them, too. I mean, he owns the Dodgers. When Snell's on the mound against them, you feel like he's going to win that every time. So, I hope he gets his bag. I hope he goes somewhere that makes him happy. I just hope it's far away from here and we don't have to see him a bunch.
Speaking of getting your bag, here is your chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas. It is time for our Throwback Thursday game of Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Trip to Vegas, what you can win today, and it is Brian who is going to get that opportunity. Good morning, Brian.
Hello?
Hello, you are on the air, and you are here to play Real or Fake, I presume.
I hope.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. All right, you need to get 4 out of 7 right, and we'll put you into the drawing for our 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. 2 tickets to Luke Bryan, the country music superstar. His final show's coming up on his record-breaking Las Vegas headlining engagement at Resorts World Theater, December 29th through January 6th. Tickets are on sale at rwlasvegas.com. Well, this is a little bit of good timing. Today on Real or Fake, we're talking about Blake Snell winning his 2nd Cy Young Award, and also Garrett Cole, who added his name to the list of all-time winners. Brian, I happen to have that list for you today for Real or Fake. I'm going to give you a name. All you have to do is tell me if they are a real Cy Young Award winner, or if it's a fake, in this case, an Academy Award winner for Best Actor.
Oh.
This sounds as easy as you can possibly get. You got Woods' help.
I bet it's not.
He knows baseball. He knows movies. This should be as simple as it gets. Right, Brian?
Oh, God.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Ready to go. Here we go. Round number 1. Broderick Crawford, real or fake Cy Young Award winner?
Yeah, I need some help already, it looks like.
I think that's an actor, so I'm going to say fake.
He says fake. Brian, what do you say?
I'm going to go with fake.
Fake is correct.
Yes.
1949, All the King's Men.
Oh, one of the best.
All right, let's go. Round number 2 here. Mike McCormick, real or fake Cy Young Award winner? Mike McCormick.
That sounds pretty real to me.
Yeah, me too.
You both agree, all right?
Yes.
And you are right. 1967 San Francisco Giants.
I was going to say A's. I was close.
So you were in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I was in the Bay Area.
All right, let's go. Round number 3. Jim Lonborg. Jim Lonborg. Real or fake Cy Young Award winner, Brian?
Help, please.
That's real, buddy.
Wow. He says real,
That is
Brian.
real.
Very confident.
We'll go with
Woods
real.
is confident. Same year, 1967, the Boston Red Sox.
I was going to say the White Sox.
All right, this is
getting very close.
Very easy game. For the clean sweep, let's go with round 4. Mike Flanagan, real or fake Cy Young Award winner?
Let's go with fake.
No!
Oh, should ask Woods.
Okay.
That's all right. No, that's all right. You missed one.
Baltimore Orioles.
Correct, 1979. Very good, Woods. All right, let's go with Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin.
I'm going to go with my wingman here. I did it on my own. I messed up. So what does Wood say?
That's fake, buddy. Lee Marvin's an actor.
All right, we're going to go fake.
Very good. 1965 for Cat Ballou, Academy Award winner. It was an easy game, as it turned out. Brian, hang on the line. You have won. You are headed to at least our grand prize drawing for Las Vegas at the end of the month.
Give me the rest.
Paul Lucas.
Actor.
1943, Watch on the Rhine. And Robert Donut.
Actor.
He is, and that's how he, I guess, pronounces his name, just like
Donut.
Paul pronounces Donut. Robert Donut, D-O-N-A-T. Goodbye, Mr. Chips, 1939 Academy Award
Classic.
I bet that was a
winner.
banger.
Just a classic.
Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
No, don't
Mr.
leave.
Yeah,
Chips?
see? So good. I like that one. That was a good one, Ben. You guys smell that? You smell that?
Oh, breakfast is
Manager's
being
breakfast
cooked here.
being cooked.
I mean,
Oh.
we're 45 minutes away. We got to just live with that for almost an hour
I
before
didn't
we can.
know food wafts that far in this building.
Like, these are soundproof rooms, but
Not
apparently they're not
Not
smell-proof.
My
smell-proof
God.
doors here at our Odyssey studio.
Oh, it smells good.
Manager breakfast.
All right, we got Don't Do This coming up next. There was some chaos a couple nights ago in the NBA with some major fallout yesterday.
A little chippy.
One NBA star who's very used to getting punished by the league. We'll get to that coming up with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, we're back with a couple of stories that make you shake your head in the world of sports. I will get us started with a Draymond Green suspension, which is basically something that happens almost every season.
Yeah, a few times.
The NBA. This was from Tuesday night.
Yep.
The Golden State Warriors taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And before there was even a basket in the game, less than 2 minutes in, right at midcourt, it was Klay Thompson and Jaden McDaniels. They got kind of tangled and tied up, and then they started just kind of pulling at each other, and then all heck broke loose.
Well, McDaniels literally ripped his
jersey.
Now, do you bring backup jerseys?
Probably.
Because all I saw was the clip. I'm assuming somebody went and got him his backup jersey to put on, just in case that happens.
Or the one that just says player on the back.
Player
just
on the back.
Generic one.
Player 00.
But I think he was ejected anyway.
Clay was.
Clay was definitely.
Clay.
I think Jaden McDaniels was, and of course Draymond Green was, because he, as usual, was the first one in. But he didn't go after Jaden McDaniels, who was, the guy who was actually, in with Klay Thompson, his teammate.
The fracas.
He went right after Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
They obviously have had some beef and whatever in the past, and this was the perfect excuse for him to put Rudy Gobert in a WWE-style headlock.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, looked like Rudy Gobert was about to completely pass out. Like, no oxygen to the head.
Tapping.
He was in the sleeper hold. Now, I thought the funniest part of the whole thing is his teammate, Karl Anthony Towns, runs over as if to stop it, but then realizes it's Draymond, and then sort of gets there and just tries to talk the situation down, like, stop, please, stop doing this, but wouldn't actually get in there and touch Draymond Green at any point.
Can you blame him?
I don't think he wanted to really get on Draymond's bad side. Of course, the NBA handing down a 5-game suspension and fines yesterday for Draymond Green, who, of course, has a massive history of this.
Listen, I would like to play with a teammate like Draymond Green. I would. I know that guy always has my back.
Steve Kerr always goes to bat for him.
100%.
Even when he is a giant headache, even when he's fighting with his own teammates.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr knows the value of Draymond Green and what he does coming off the bench and that intensity and that.
He's terrifying.
He's the enforcer.
Literally terrifying. They were showing his many beefs over the years, and you see these grown-ass men they back away from him. And yes, Satan's blowfish. He is the one that knocked out his own teammate. He absolutely did in a practice. But yeah, it is. He has your back. Well, yeah, Jake says the guy who punched his teammate has your back. Everybody except for him, he has their back. I'll give you that.
Michael Jordan punched his teammate.
Michael Jordan punched his teammate.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr, ironically.
We talked to him about that. But Dre is he's a terrifying
He's
guy.
also, when he's not
He's hysterical.
off the chain, he's funny, he's thoughtful, kind of like Ron Artest was in many ways.
I always like the misunderstood
He contains
guys.
multitudes, for sure.
He does. We had talked about this story a couple of years ago when it first came to light, but now there's evidence and there's going to be convictions of former Boston Celtics player Glenn Big Baby Davis and former Los Angeles Laker Will Bynum. They are now facing jail time. They were defrauding the NBA's health care plan. Essentially what they did was they did fake insurance claims to be reimbursed for medical and dental services that were never received. They made a lot of money off of this scam, and now they are going to be sent to prison, Ben. And there was a ex-NBA player, Terrence Williams, got 10 years for orchestrating a plan to defraud the same program. He's been jailed since November of 2022. So they're looking down the barrel of a decade at least for this scam. So don't steal.
Yeah, don't.
That's the lesson.
I mean, you already have some of the best protections of any person. If you're a former professional athlete, baseball, football, basketball, and you were in the league for a while, you got pensions, you got all sorts of things that help take care of you later in life. To take advantage of that is wrong.
Yeah, very wrong.
Don't do this moment. All right, little do this here on a Thursday.
DD mega doo-doo.
And it comes from my own television network last night. I was watching on ABC 10, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. The definition of celebrity is really starting to get stretched. I'm almost getting some hope that I could be invited on the Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. one of the three celebrities was Kyle Brandt, who is one of the hosts of the Good Morning show on the NFL Network. Good Morning Football on NFL Network. Oh, he's decent, for sure. But someone, if you're not a pretty major sports fan, you're not really that familiar with Kyle Brandt, right?
Who do you want on there? Leonardo DiCaprio would be probably a tough
That
get.
would be a great
It'd be a
celebrity
great
Wheel
get.
of Fortune get. I mean, Celebrity Jeopardy at least had Macaulay Culkin and Rachel Dratch on last night.
I like Rachel Dratch.
She was good. She was
hysterical,
smart. She was right there. But I didn't even know who the other two people were. Maybe I should. Maybe it's just because I'm getting. Well, one was a comedian, and the other was I still don't know who she was. But Kyle absolutely cleaned up. But he also admitted to a lifelong obsession with one Vanna White. Here's the audio from Celebrity Wheel of Fortune last night.
I know you're a big fan of that lady over there.
Pat, I'm thrilled to meet you, but Vanna, let's just put the cards on the table. I say this respectfully. You're a TV legend. My wife is here. You were my boyhood crush. I love you. For many years of my life, you were the puzzle I wanted to solve, and I am so thrilled to be here.
Wow.
Do you have any advice for me today, Vanna? Because I believe you control the board. I love you, Pat. To me, this is a Vanna show.
Well, thank you for those kind words.
I'm uncomfortable now.
5 vowels.
Okay.
Pretend like you're in your own living room, not here. Just concentrate on the puzzle board.
Yes.
Not me.
Keep your pants on.
Keep me out of it. Think of the puzzle.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Keep your
You were
zipper
the
up.
puzzle I wanted to solve?
So good.
This is your line, Kyle?
It just came out. I didn't know that moment was going to happen. It just came out.
Do
Did I
less,
hit
Kyle.
bankrupt
Do
on that?
less.
We have another celebrity available.
Thanks, everybody.
I will say this of Kyle. He seemed very enthusiastic. He was like visibly shaking and nervous. Like the first puzzle he got wrong, it was movie quotes and it was from Anchorman, and he thought it was wow, that escalated quickly, but it was boy that escalated quickly, and he got it wrong and he was like devastated, but he came back. He won the first game, won the bonus game. Then they did a second half hour. They reset it all, won that game, won the bonus game again, and ended up winning about $175,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation last night on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, which is undoubtedly a giant do this for Kyle Brandt. And he got to meet his boyhood crush, Vanna White, and give the line that he had obviously been saving for years and years if he ever had the opportunity to meet Vanna. You're the puzzle I always wanted to solve.
I don't know too many dads that weren't all about Vanna White. When my dad was, I'm sure your dad was. Everybody loved Vanna White when we were young.
My
She
dad
still looks
probably
great.
was.
Yeah,
She looks
You don't-
fantastic.
But you don't know. He didn't watch it at home.
Pat looks
he was
like
gone.
Pat looks like a wax figure of Pat Sajak, but Vanna
does.
still
Vanna
looks
looks really good.
fantastic.
All right, that's don't and do this.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
By the way, I have a surprise for you. Didn't realize this, but remember the manager's breakfast that's coming up, and you said Adam won't be there because he's out of town.
Oh, is he
he's
here?
here. He's back.
I thought you were going to say Bob Melvin's in there or something.
He's
The
getting
manager's
his,
breakfast.
He's getting his toque on, ready to serve you breakfast this morning.
He's smoking weed?
No.
Oh.
Not T-O-K-E. T-O-Q-U-E.
Oh. I was like, what kind of breakfast are we having here right now? Mike Schultz out there, Ryan Flaherty, all of the potential Padres candidates serving us omelets this morning. Now that's a manager's breakfast.
Andy Green,
Andy Green.
Managers of the past.
Would be the greatest manager's breakfast
Hey,
of all
go
time.
eat another omelet, Woods.
Yes. Go eat another omelet, fatty. Oh, my God. All right,
Well,
Adam
don't worry,
is
Adam,
here.
I'm leaving.
And apparently, Adam is stoned.
We're cooking, and we're making some omelets, and we're eating this morning. I mean, that's manager's breakfast would be genius.
It would be so good. So good.
All right, if you didn't get an opportunity to get in yesterday and say what you wanted to say about Peter Seidler, any stories, recollections, I want to open up the phone lines again here, 833-288-0973. They are open now. They're clear. If you want to get in and you didn't get in yesterday, at least give you that opportunity. 833-288-0973. More with Ben and Woods coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan. There's a discussion going on in our chat right now about people who are currently working on the clock, but also watching our show. Is that a no-no at some offices?
Not
You're
for me. It's not. I think it's
watch
fantastic.
Ben and Woods while you work?
Time thief, though they call it. But I think you're doing a great job.
I don't know that I could work somewhere where I couldn't have the television on. I mean,
yeah.
I have sports on constantly at work because that's part of my job. But obviously not everybody has that sports element of their job, and I guess there are probably bosses out there would be like, well, hey, why do you have the Padres game on TV? You should be focused on something else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you've ever worked, and I don't think you have, like a real job.
I have not worked.
Where you sit at a cube and you pound the phone all day. You can't really have. I used to have music on very, very low, and even that bothered my boss. But everything bothered my boss if I wasn't on the phone, ripping calls all day. So no, we appreciate you guys that are stealing from the man. Like we like to be rebels. And I think that's, stick it to the man a little bit.
Yeah. Your owner, your boss is probably like John Fisher. And
he's making money.
Yeah,
dude, he's making money.
Want to get to some phone calls. If you didn't get in yesterday, want to still talk about Peter Seidler's legacy.
Peter Seidler.
Sorry. You can do so now, 833-288-0973. This hour on The Fan is brought to you by the Caltrans Stormwater Program.
Feels like us again.
Visit cleanwaterca.com. Let's change this to that by picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing our vehicles. Learn how at cleanwaterca.com. That's cleanwaterca.com from Caltrans Stormwater. Let's get to RJ. I know you tried to call in yesterday. RJ, welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing fine. Hey, listen, before I talk my part about Mr. Seidler, Woodsy, last time I called, you made the comment that I needed to take decaf.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I do drink decaf.
Brewed
so
decaf.
What you're hearing is nothing but real excitement to talk to you guys. So you can either take it or leave it.
We love it.
I think you want to take it.
I want to take it.
I want to say this. Ben, you mentioned yesterday that a father, both you and I are dads, the last thing a parent ever wants to do is bury their own child. You're right. I cannot wrap my head around that, nor do I ever want to. However, the one solace I took, for what it's worth, is imagine if Mama Seidler is listening to all the kind words being spoken about her boy. Can you imagine? Maybe she can rest in the joy that she did a damn good job with that man. I did not get to experience having a beer with him and all the great, cool things that regular folk like us got to say, and experience. But wow, how incredibly cool to know that your son was revered and loved in a genuine manner, not because he had deep pockets, but because he genuinely cared about something. And whereas someone like me, who doesn't make a whole lot of money at all, we put money into things that we really care about and we are excited. Well, he did the same thing, just on a much bigger scale, many more zeros than I could ever imagine. So I just wanted to share that may he rest in peace and power, whatever the cool thing is to say these days. I'm glad that he treated you guys so well because you guys do a damn good job. And to know that someone like him had your back, that is tremendous. And the last thing I want to say, and this is totally selfish, but of all the owners that we've had in the years, and yes, Mr. Moores, may he rest in peace, he pretty much laid the groundwork for a lot of the fun that we're having. But there wasn't an owner I wanted to see hold up a trophy more than Mr. Seidler. Gosh, I wanted to see that so bad, more than even the players. So, oh well, it is what it is. Hopefully his family and whoever they sell the team to or keep the team can run it just as amazingly well. Mistakes and all. He did a great job. Damn, we're going to miss him. I'm going to go drink some more decaf.
Great call, RJ.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much. And it is a terrific point. Peter was obviously taken much too early at just 63. I think he had so much more that we could have gotten. But what a 63 years. I mean, he did more and gave more in his 63 years than most people could do in 1,000 years if they were alive. So in that sense, absolutely right. It's okay to also, you're sad, but you can also appreciate it was a life very well lived, even if it was shorter than it should have been. Taken too soon. But this isn't someone who was taken before they could have an impact on life.
Bro, when I go, I'd like to have a legacy that lives on for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, an afternoon would be cool.
Right.
Peter
Seidler's legacy will live on for generations and generations here in San Diego.
Yeah, no question about it.
Also, seems like several local breweries are already working on a Peter cider.
Are they?
Is that
because
of my flub just a second ago. No, I think the idea, because I said Peter Cider instead of Peter Seidler, but it is a great idea. I mean, you can brew up a Peter cider in honor of Peter Seidler and have that ready for the holiday season here coming up.
Ben will ask for royalties on that, though.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Let's, all right, if you want to call in, you can, 833-288-0973. We'll check traffic. Also want to get into the rule changes being discussed. Little tiny tweaks to the pitch clock in Major League Baseball potentially coming up. We'll do that after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by BMW. We're not sure if slick roadways caused this overturn crash or not, but somebody took it a bit too quick. Westbound 56, Carmel Valley Road. This has got the slow lane blocked, so yeah, expect some very tight traffic approaching that. Also going to find on the southbound 5 coastline right before Birmingham, an accident being moved out of the HOV lane. Got this spin out of La Jolla Parkway on-ramp to South 5, East 52. Brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine, now through November 30th during the BMW Road Home Sales event. Receive a credit of up to $3,000 on select models like the BMW X3 and X5. Visit SoCalBMW.com today for details. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So according to reports yesterday, one of the things the competition committee is discussing at the MLB owners meetings for next season is potentially reducing the Major League Baseball pitch clock with runners on base from 20 seconds down to 18 seconds. Of course, it's 15 seconds with no runners on, and it was 20 seconds with runners on base this past season.
Okay.
I was listening to Gwen and Chris yesterday just railing on why is this necessary. They pointed out that the early part of last season, the time of game had gone down to something like 2 hours and 38 minutes, but then by later in the season it crept back up about 6 minutes, like to 2:44 or something like that, as players kind of adjusted and used more of that clock. And owners were wondering, well, do we need that entire 20 seconds there with runners on base?
I mean, when I first saw the Jeff Passan tweet about it, I rolled my eyes and went, why? Baseball fans and players are very reluctant to change. We are there are still people holding on out hope that, hey, well, in 1974, I watched him throw 37 complete games. Like, things change, players change, philosophies change in baseball. I've been pretty open to most of it. I was against all of this stuff last season. Then I saw it work, and I went, this is badass.
It really worked.
I was like, I was wrong. I like the pitch clock. I thought it helped tremendously a lot of players. I think one of our very own, Blake Snell, once he stopped fighting it and embraced it, he won a Cy Young. So I do think it's helpful. I do like a good pace of play. I didn't even notice that they didn't shift much last year. Like, they didn't shift at all, because I still feel like I saw shifts. I still feel like I saw a ground ball up the middle.
Having that guy up the middle was still a shift.
Oh, exactly.
In some sense.
Like, I feel like nothing really changed there, except for some of the goofy ones that you would see the Rays employ and things like that. But I really didn't like these rules. So then I got used to them, and now I really like them. And I like the pace of play. What is the purpose of this?
Well, I mean, they talk about the time of game creeping up. I don't really care, 2:37 or 2:44.
Right.
It's a good game time for me. However,
it was a trend late in the season too. Games start to feel a little more important, and the game started lasting a little bit longer.
I actually do think that a slight tweak from 20 to 18 would be a good move and is justified. And here's why I think that. And it's one player in particular. Trent Grisham is the player that I have in mind when I think about a 20-second pitch clock, because it was never the pitcher holding up the game in the 20-second pitch clock. It's the rule that the batter has until 8 seconds to be ready. And what ended up happening, and Grish used this a lot, and I don't know if it helped him or didn't help him. It certainly didn't seem like it helped him much in the long run. But the pitcher would get the ball back. There's like a runner on first, so the clock's at 20. Pitcher would get it back. He'd get up onto the mound, ready to get his sign. The clock's at 17, and Grish stands there, 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the box, waiting until exactly like 10 seconds. And then he steps in, looks down, and looks up at 8 seconds. And he holds up the game for like 7 to 8 seconds every single time, just for the purpose of holding up the game. Everyone else is really ready, and he could be ready as well. It had nothing to do with holding the runner on base or anything the pitcher was doing or making sure there was enough time to get the signs in and check the base runner. It was simply a chance for batters to stall the game an extra 5 seconds because instead of 15, it was 20. I get that you may need a little more time with guys on base, but I thought the 5 seconds ended up being too much. It was too big of a difference from the 15 seconds. I think 18 is a perfect solution for runners on base. And while I understand why people rail against, we don't need to make changes all the time, just leave it like it was, don't mess with a good thing. This is, I think, just a little bit a better version of a good thing.
Bro, the owners, when they signed the collective bargaining agreement in 2022, they have, and this article says, they have carte blanche on rules changes. They could put these guys on rollerblades if they wanted to and be like, guess what? You got to figure it out on rollerblades.
We're playing soccer now, actually.
They're going to do this every single year. So I would say, as you have to do as a baseball fan, what did I say 3 weeks ago? What do? You eat it. Here's your soup. Suck it down. That's it. That's what you're. This is going to happen.
I would rather have baseball at least try to be proactive and think about ways to improve the sport versus what we used to have, which was we can't make any changes at all to this game. It's been played the same way for
100 years.
100 years, and we have to play it exactly the same way, or everyone is going to have a big giant fit about it. Well, we just found out yesterday that's not true. They may have had a fit for 5 minutes, but we pretty much all agreed that the changes ended up being very positive for the experience, for fans, and our enjoyment of the game. So why stop thinking about it? Like, well, we can't change it again. We just did it. We can't even think about it for 5 more years because that's too much change. No. If the change is correct, go ahead and implement it. Now, don't make change for change's sake.
I think that's what everyone's fear is.
But I feel like there's some logic to this. The way I watched the games, I thought the extra 5 seconds was a little too much with runners on base. And 3 more seconds sounds like it would dial in what was an experimental rule change perfectly. What were the odds they were going to get it exactly right the first season on the timing? They came up with 15 and 20. I know they did some research, but let's be honest. Someone just said, what sounds good to you?
15-20.
15-20. Let's try that. And they tried it, and it worked pretty well. But there was always a good chance that those numbers could be dialed in just a little bit better after a season of experience, a season of data that they now have under their belts. And I'm okay with a 15-18 split on the pitch clock next season if that's what Major League Baseball wants to implement.
Ray says in the chat it throws the pitcher off their rhythm. I think you can't say that universally because I thought it helped a tremendous amount of pitchers last year, and you heard guys. Look, there are rules to what we do. There are rules to what you do. You have to be able to adapt. You can piss and moan about them all you want, but if Major League Baseball decides to put them in, this is what I'd like to see from the San Diego Padres in 2024, because I feel like we were the 30th team to adapt to the new rules last year. I really do. I feel like we were dead last in all of the new rules. I feel like other teams got a huge jump, and I feel like we were standing up there going, what? What do we do? When do I get in? I feel like they were not prepared for it. Maybe that's Bob Melvin's fault. Maybe it's the coaching staff. Get them ready. Get them trained for these new rules, whatever they may be. Get them ready this year, because last year I really feel we were dead last. I remember watching teams just running on us early. We didn't have one guy that knew how to throw over to first base. It was gnarly.
And this to me is not about speeding up the game. In fact, I'd be in favor of going to a replay system like in the playoffs where teams actually got 2 of them. I hate the idea that there's a play that happens in the first inning that's like close and you think that it might be overturned, but we can't use it yet because if we get it wrong, we've lost it for the rest of the game. That's a lot of pressure on those guys who are sitting in a video room who have like 8 seconds to make a decision. I would be okay if every team got 2 challenges over the course of the game. And that might add 2 minutes to a game if all the challenges were used and they had to go to it. But get it right. Give them the opportunity to get it right. Don't be afraid to use a challenge in the first or second inning if you do think it might help your team, because God forbid we'd lose it and then we can't challenge a more important play later in the game. But you don't know what's going to happen. One challenge probably isn't enough. I liked how it worked in the playoffs with the 2 challenges. Get more calls right more often. That has to be a good thing for your sport.
I always use this example, but there's 1,000 people at a casino, and there's somebody watching every single one of them, watching their hand, watching their eyes. They can figure that out on a 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year basis in Las Vegas. You can't get ball and strike calls right in the blink of an eye in baseball. You can't get out or safe in the blink of an eye in baseball. I realize there's a massive amount of technology involved. Don't we want to get things right? The human element is fantastic. That's why I watch humans play the game. I don't really need to see humans affect the game, figure out how to get more calls right, and not slow the game down. I know it's possible. I know it is. I know it's possible. It can be done. You got to figure out how to do it. That for me is the most important. I cannot watch another Doug Eddings behind the mound or behind the plate. I can't watch that anymore. It's terrible. The guys they had working the playoffs were horrific. And listen, I'm all for humans being behind the plate, but you got to have somebody else make these calls, right? That's something I'd like to see them put a little more time on.
If you can make the game better, I'm always in favor of that. I'm not looking for radical changes. I'm really not. But you can tweak. The NFL tweaks every single year.
Yeah, and NFL
rules.
fans really don't
every
complain
single
about
year,
it.
and no one it doesn't bother anyone at all. All right, we are 2 hours in. Breakfast is smells like it's ready. I smell syrup. I smell eggs.
Outside of the door. He's just standing.
He's just waiting for you.
Hey guys.
To serve you as manager today.
He's about to get after
We'll come back.
Video of you guys making
Would you say you got something coming up here?
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, if he's not eating,
I'll be
we'll
eating.
return with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being with us yesterday. You guys knocked it out of the park yesterday. It was incredible. Just amazing. The calls that we got yesterday. It was a very emotional day. It was a very, very long day as well. And I left here, feeling kind of blue, to be honest with you. It was kind of a sad day. But to hear from all you guys yesterday, to be with each other, felt really good as well. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. He is here as well. Good morning to you, Benjamin. I had to laugh last night. So, yes, it's the off season in baseball, right? And we're mostly baseball show. I do feel weird sometimes when we talk about, other things, but I put on MLB Network last night at like 6:30. Hey, listen, the Cy Youngs today. I wonder what they're doing. Maybe they're doing a special on Garrett Cole and Blake Snell. No. In the ultimate punt for MLB Network last night, I flip it on, and it's Ken Burns baseball. And I went, oh, my God, you guys are geniuses. And by the way, I've watched that documentary 20 times. I never get tired of it. I pick up something new from it every single time that I watch it. And this was like Ty Cobb, Christy Mathewson going to war days. I was so into it.
Well, you're lucky because they run like For the Love of the Game 47
That's
times
true.
in the off season. I think it's the only movie maybe they have the rights to.
Well, and I was thinking like, what could our punt be? Should we just play Ken Burns baseball while we, go grab our breakfast, or let's say we need 45 minutes to ourselves in here. Guys, we're about to entertain you with Ken Burns baseball, but it got me down a rabbit hole, man. And they started talking about the 1919 Black Sox scandal. And then I put on 8 Men Out on my phone.
Saw a commercial running on MLB Network yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to air 8 Men Out again. And I'm like, I'll probably watch. I love that movie.
I do too. I watched it last night. It's on Amazon Prime as well.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
It's so good. But I was laughing going, you punting SOBs. Look at you. You're punting and airing Ken Burns baseball.
They got an off season. That's what they do.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
We got our food coming in. He needs some help. He needs some help.
Mimosas.
All right, look at this.
Yeah,
there's
buddy.
our manager with the manager's breakfast coming and serving first. Paulie Reindl. Woodsy's getting a mimosa.
Wow, that's a great looking plate right there,
mimosa.
Adam. Thank you.
You guys-
some silverware.
Are you drinking spirits on the air?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, I am.
Guy said, just please don't play the 16-minute Bob Dylan song.
Usually I go with like the 95% champagne, 5% OJ mimosa. This is a more 50-50.
Okay.
Very delicious. Probably more responsible for, on-the-air purposes.
We just went and placed our orders via text
I didn't.
to Adam.
I didn't do mine.
No, you probably should.
God dang it.
There's if you're watching on YouTube,
Oh,
there's the spread.
There it is.
In the
If you're
kitchen.
listening on the radio, you're screwed, so sorry about
There's no
that.
better radio than
Yeah, listening to people eat.
this is good.
Sounds good.
Mimosas are all about Fancy Ben, and it is a Throwback Thursday after all here as well on Ben and Woods. And Paulie has, he said it's probably just like a 5-second clip from how many years ago is this? Probably like 4 years
This
ago.
was 2019. This week, 2019.
4 years ago, the origin of one of I think Paulie's favorite drops to play in our show.
Yeah, the drop
play the drop
is-
out of context. Oh my god, you've heard that a million times. But if you haven't been a long-time Tier 1 and didn't hear the origin story of what could possibly have been so very, very excited about something.
Yeah, this again, it's a very short clip. The context even is very short, but we were talking about the Masters. It was this week, so why were we talking Masters in November?
Because it's the off season. It's our Ken Burns baseball.
We just go to an announcement about the Masters, and
we go to golf.
Woods said something that led Ben to that drop.
So we should go to the Masters as a show.
Oh my god.
It's been doctored. It was pointed out to us that it's been doctored. That clip was a doctored clip.
How so?
I'm pretty sure I said, "Oh my God!" in response
You did,
to going to the
but
Masters.
we made him go back and say it. Somebody pointed out the last time we played this that we made because it was sexy, but it wasn't that sexy. It wasn't.
Oh my God!
It was kind of like that. He was like, "Oh my God," because he really, really wants to go to the Masters. He actually, this is one of my favorite Ben stories. When we were in contract negotiations, he said, "Hey, we should ask. We should ask our agent to ask them for a discretionary budget to where, I don't know, like once a year, we can just go do something we want. Like, let's say, I don't know, off the top of my head, the Masters. We just have funds to go to the Masters for ourselves."
Thank you,
What'd
Adam.
get in your...
I got a veggie omelet and a side of bacon. Thank you for the. I don't need a
Could
knife.
I do
I'm
a
good.
ham and cheese omelet, please?
Ham and cheese?
No, there's ham.
Is that
You
a
showed me.
Denver omelet, Woods?
No,
Or
just
is it
ham and cheese.
Canadian
Just
bacon and
cheese.
ham.
No, it's not. He
Yes,
has
it
ham.
is.
He has giant chunks of ham.
Cubed ham.
Ham and cheese omelet and some of that yogurt, please. Thank you.
This is a beautiful omelet.
Bacterial cultures.
This is so JR, our engineer, is a part-time omelet chef as well. Does he work at like a hotel on the weekends
he doesn't.
making
He
omelets
just makes
at the omelet
omelets once a
station?
year for us. You don't...
Oh, delicious.
Is it good?
Yeah, fluffy eggs, really nicely
Okay.
done.
Good.
It's hard to cook on one of those little temporary
It is.
stoves.
It's one of
as
my
well.
favorite things about going to a hotel. When they have an omelet bar, when they have the ladle, and they put the stuff in there, then they ladle the egg over it, and then he flips it with one hand. I mean, he's really, really good.
Incredible.
Really good omelet. I tried to stay away from the carbs, so I just went omelet and a couple slices of bacon, but
That's
delicious.
Good. Well, I've got nothing
Absolutely
else.
delicious.
So there you
That
go.
is fantastic.
I'm out of material. It's 8:07.
So, by the way, end of the story. We did not get the discretionary.
We did not get the discretionary fund
in our new deal
No,
to allow
we
me to go on a junket
once a year
to the Masters, or maybe we go to the Final Four one year. I thought that would be really cool. The Ben and Woods
San Diego
company.
State was in the Final Four.
Company
and we didn't
paid
go.
for That's true. a
I don't
junket
think we're
once a
going
year.
just because we want to.
I've always been a little bit jealous of, and again, I know how lucky I am and how fun my job is. But there are jobs that will send people once or twice a year to some sort of I like a convention in Vegas, and you get paid to go to that convention. And yeah, you work
say that because you've never done.
You
one.
work during the day, but then you have the nights, and you got your expense account, and you get to go out to dinner and have a good time. Is that not how it works? You've done these.
Yeah,
things.
here's what it's really like. You have $25 for dinner, right? You go to Vegas, you stand on your feet all day. Yes, we do hospital marketing. Yes, it's great to see you too. Yeah, it's way expensive, and you got to pay for this and this. You do that for 9-10 hours. Then you go back to your room. You're like, I just want to go to bed and have some fun in here by myself. And then I just want to go to sleep. But then we got dinner tonight, and then you have a $25 minimum. It's not like they make it look on Wolf of Wall Street.
That's
it's just
what I
not.
want. That's what I really
do
want.
want. That's not it. That is
I want
not
the full expense account.
Jake says I travel for work all the time. It sucks. It sucks. It is absolute. Traveling for work is a nightmare. I mean, I like to go to.
See, I've almost never done it.
I like to go to spring training and stuff like that. It's great, but even at 48 years old, man,
spring training's so fun.
Spring training's a
I want to do
blast.
more things like that.
Sure,
if I can.
I get it. I totally get it, but I don't think they're gonna. They don't think they want to send you to the Masters. I don't think it does them much good.
Right, it does me good.
Yeah, if it moved the needle, they'd probably do it. Right, but not a lot of.
I
golf
get that
moves
tier
the needle.
ones don't really have that much interest in sending me to the Masters.
No,
won't change the show. Probably make the show worse.
It will make
honestly.
the show worse because you would never shut up about the Masters.
Nor would I be paying attention to the show. If we were at the Masters, are you kidding me? I would have zero interest in talking to you about the Padres or anything else.
He'd be bobbing back and forth. I gotta go.
Straight jacket.
Yeah,
I gotta get a spot.
Retief
over by the 12th
Goosen's over
green.
there. I gotta go over there. He would lose his mind. It would not be fun. I think you should go as a vacation one year because you love the game.
Yeah.
So I think you should absolutely
Bucket
do
list.
that. They're not going to pay for it, though.
Right. I shot my shot.
Yeah.
And thought maybe I could get someone else to pay for my trip.
Do you try to get the tickets every year? Do you go into the lottery?
I have not.
You never have?
No. I mean, I just don't. Then I feel like, well, then how am I going to take the time off? It's always opening weekend of baseball,
yeah.
really. So it's a really bad time to go on a vacation.
It's not really anymore, isn't it? Always like mid-April. The Masters?
It's usually like in the first week of the baseball season now. Like there's opening day, and then the Masters get started a few days later.
Baseball is like the last weekend in March now.
Yeah, it is. It's gotten a little bit earlier, so the Masters is kind of in the first week. But we're into Padres season. It would be a terrible time. You would never let me live it down if I just abandon you for. I'm not going to the Masters for one day. I'm going all week. I'm going to the practice rounds. I'm going everything.
Par
if I
three.
go, I want to see the whole thing. So if I left for an entire week in the first 2 weeks of the baseball season,
dead man.
Woods would kill me.
Well, when has that ever stopped you before? Trade deadline. I mean, it never stops. I think that's a trip that you need to take, though. You and your dad, your brother, go out there and spend a week. I wouldn't be mad at you because I'd be happy.
But it's tough to you got to get into a lottery. I mean, you're not even really allowed to buy tickets on the secondary market. If they find out that you did, you get kicked out, and then the person you sold them to gets kicked out in the future.
They actually get hung in the town square in Augusta. They will actually hang you there.
I mean, they threw the guy in jail for taking like a vial of sand out of a sand trap.
It's so
I mean, they took over his house. They foreclosed his cousin's tractor dealership or whatever it is.
They do not mess around there. So I think you should do that at some point. Odyssey is not going to pay for it. That I do promise you. Padres made some. They got some additions. Benny, they've added some pieces.
You actually have a personal connection to one of the pieces the Padres added. I also have an under-the-radar pitching option for the San Diego Padres to add to here. We will get to that coming up. I'm going to eat the rest of my omelet, and we'll be right back after a check of traffic. Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Welcome back to 97.3 The Fan / JR's House of Omelets. I mean, we really should open up. He could charge like $15 for those things.
Bro,
that is a
fantastic.
really good omelet on our manager's breakfast
Michael
morning.
and JR. And
Thank you, managers.
Adam, our server. Do we need to tip our server?
No.
Didn't think
Not
so.
him.
Not today.
I'll give him a tip. Just the tip.
It's Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan, and it is, the off-season business of the Padres will resume here in the next day or two, and even though things are on pause and they are in mourning about Peter Seidler, there are some things you can't skip over, business that has to be attended to, and Padres did add a couple of names in the last couple of days, not to the Major League roster, but more on the depth side of things, the invitation to spring training aspect, and someone you've actually met personally here, Woodsy.
Yeah, Cal Mitchell is a guy, I believe he's from Rancho Bernardo, and was the second-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I had taken Bo one time up to Big Fly, which is a batting cage up in San Marcos, and I know the guys that run it, Corey Smith and his dad Butch, and so I go up there and hit a lot. And I was up there with Bo one day, and I see this dude in the cage, and my immediate thought was, go to a cage that's far away from him.
What velocity was he ramping up to?
Well, first he was hitting off the tee.
Okay,
and you just whack, you hear it and go, okay, yeah, he's a real player. I'm going to go way over here, so that. You know,
kind of like in a driving range. When the pro is working on one end, you kind of give him some space.
Well, you give him some space, and you don't want to be near him to be compared to him. But at one point, I was showing Bo, like, all right, watch this. Watch his hands. Watch his feet. Watch him load. And then Corey goes, Woodsy, come here, and came over, and we introduced ourselves, and he took a picture with Bo. Super nice dude. Could not have met a nicer human being. Was in there helping other kids as well with their swings. And, I think, fourth outfielder type guy.
He signed a minor league deal with an invitation to spring training with the Padres. And, it's not necessarily a difference maker, but when depth was one of your biggest problems, it's good to bring in as many options as you can for the upcoming season.
Super athletic guy. I think that was good. And then there's a couple of arms that they've added as well, kind of under the radar deals. But there was Eno Saris actually tweeted about him yesterday. Jeremiah Estrada is headed to the Padres, which is a great pickup, he says. Results weren't there, but the underlying velo and shapes are very interesting for Eno's metric stuff plus with 10 innings pitched minimum. He was fourth behind Ryan Presley, Ryan Helsley, Emmanuel Clase, and then Jeremiah Estrada is number 4. Padres pick up this young man from the Cubs organization. Looks to be able to gas it up pretty good.
You do wonder if like a change in coaching can help a pitcher like that.
It's so funny that Ruben is now the just bring them in, Balsley will fix him. Because we heard that for a decade, of just pick him up, Balsley will fix him. Balsley, meanwhile, is like, oh my God, I got 15 guys I got to fix, 15 projects. But I have no doubt. We've seen what Ruben has done for a lot of dudes. We've seen guys get off track, and we've seen Ruben help bring them back. And so he's another interesting name that I saw yesterday. And then there was one more, and I've just lost it. Paulie, what was his name?
Gillespie? Logan Gillespie?
Logan Gillespie, I believe, is how it's spelled and pronounced. Picked him up from the Red Sox. Pretty good. Another pretty decent arm as well. Good curveball.
You can't eat at all without making noises.
No, I'm gurgling. Sorry. Let's see. Brewers had signed him. He was released. He rehabbed a knee. Was with Baltimore.
Hasn't pitched much for them over the last couple of years.
He sits 94 to 97. And has a really nasty yacker, too, which is a curveball. So, looks like he's going to be kind of a middle reliever, which, again, I think we desperately need.
I think we all agree that depth is good and important, and we saw what happens when you don't have it. It does not change the fact that the Padres also need to address the major league roster and the pitching that they truly expect to be in the rotation next year, not just potential options, but actual guys who can be there, in the first 5 turns of the season to throw the baseball for this team. And with that in mind, saw an intriguing option become available this week.
I agree with you here, Benny.
When the Cleveland Guardians made a move that surprised a lot of baseball when they designated former Padres farmhand Cal Quantrill for assignment. And while Quantrill's numbers last year overall were not that good, he was 4-7 with a 5.24. He had a couple of really good seasons with the Guardians before that. Plus, he had shoulder issues, and when he came back at the end of the year, went 2-1 with a 2.76 ERA in his last 6 starts. It made a lot of people go, well, what? Why would you on earth would you give up on a solid starter like Cal Quantrill coming off a nice finish like that? And the reason pretty much is that the Guardians are too cheap. And because he is in his, I think, last year of arbitration control, he's projected to make about $6.6 million, or he was, in arbitration. Now he won't get that because he is now a free agent. And I don't know what the bidding will be for a Cal Quantrill, but certainly if you're looking for, pitching that's not on the Blake Snell economy scale, bringing home Cal Quantrill, and we love to bring home the old Padres here in San Diego.
We love it so much. Is that why we want him back?
In this case,
answer honestly.
I think in this case, it's one of the few times this isn't a move about nostalgia. It's simply
because when we did that, let's bring back Blake Snell.
It's simply perhaps a savvy baseball maneuver. If you can, if your doctors look at him, think he's healthy, and and you can get him for anything near or even less than that number that he was going to make in arbitration, I think you absolutely have to think about a reunion with Cal Quantrill, the Stanford product and former first-round pick of the Padres next season.
Yeah, we've talked to his father-in-law, Andy Ashby, a ton, and Ash is he's very bullish on Cal Quantrill, that we have not seen the best of Cal Quantrill yet. We've talked to him a ton about it.
He went on to pitch well.
And he did. He pitched pretty
well.
well.
He was fine here.
Remember what he said, too, when he left here. Yeah. Now, this was a different time. I believe that was the old Larry Rothschild days when Cal was here. Larry was not my favorite of the Padres coaching staff. And he left and was like talking about how refreshing it was to be in Cleveland where he worked with whom? Ruben Niebla. So this makes too much sense for it not to happen. But again, you don't want to sign Cal Quantrill to 3 years, $40 million or anything like that.
No,
I think
2 for 12,
sure,
2 for 14,
absolutely,
something in that range.
Absolutely, we are going to need so much depth. And
to me, he's not depth. He's your number 3 starter. If you sign him right now.
Slots in at number 3 today
for sure. But I like these moves. I like the write-ups I've seen. When Eno Saris tweets about a guy's stuff and says it's a good pickup, I'm inclined to believe that Estrada is going to be a good pickup. I like the Cal Mitchell signing. I can't wait to talk to him again and say hello and see him out at spring training and see if he can go out and make the team.
Bring all the Cals to California.
Fine by me.
This offseason for your San Diego Padres. If you want to join us, talk Padres pitching, talk Blake Snell winning the Cy Young, you can join us, 833-288-0973. We can take some of your phone calls coming up in our bottom of the hour segment. Before you do that, though, right now we do have some tickets to give away. College basketball in town at Lion Tree Arena. The UCSD Tritons going to be taking on Navy, the midshipmen, this Saturday. And we got a pair of tickets to give away right now for Military Appreciation Day at UCSD. Call 833-288-0973. We'll give it to the third caller right now. I believe the Tritons are undefeated. They beat USD. Off to their best start as a Division I team so far in UCSD's history, and they'll be taking Navy on this Saturday night at Lion Tree Arena. You can win your tickets, 833-288-0973, or get your tickets at UCSDTritons.com. I want to get back into a little more of the Blake Snell season and what we heard from him yesterday about his potential free agent landing spots. And he said something specifically about where he wants to go in free agency. I want to put on my thinking cap as to what teams come to mind when you hear what Blake Snell has in mind for his potential landing spot in this offseason. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
You going to get some more food in the break
no,
here?
I'm
You good? You good to
full.
go?
Yeah.
All right, it's Manager's Breakfast Thursday with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station. We'll be right back here on 97.3 The Fan.
That's the worst conversation I've ever had in my entire life.
That's private talk.
Not anymore. It's not. It's public talk.
Well, only
now.
because I got a phone call.
What in the
Could have
world?
taken that out there.
Sorry.
Could have taken it in
right
Nevada.
We were coming.
I didn't need to hear any of that.
Just checking in with my good skin health is always important. That was my dermatologist on the phone. I was just making sure I was set up for my next appointment.
And why? What do you need a dermatologist?
Well, I go to the dermatologist twice a year to get full body exams because I'm a moly person.
Save that. for some reason.
I mean,
I like moles.
I like moles.
You can see it here on the YouTube stream.
Yeah, you have moles. I have moles.
Yeah, but I have a lot of moles.
You're moldy.
And so we always document them. They have lots of photographs of every square inch of my body just to make sure that the moles don't change. Because it's okay to have moles. What's worrisome is when they change in color or shape.
Can you get them removed just for cosmetic?
You can, and usually every time I go, they slice off one or two to biopsy just to make sure, like, oh, is that one a little darker or a little more, squiggly or something, and they'll take it off. And so far, so good on the good news. Like, benign, you're okay. But they do that almost every time that I visit, and I wanted to make sure I was set up for my next appointment because I did have one mole or skin tag or something of concern that was kind of bothering me. So I just wanted to make sure. There's not.
Will you show us?
Nothing weird about that.
Show the chat.
I don't think that I should.
Why?
Well, it's in more of a private area.
Where?
Where it's right between my legs. Well, it's on the inside of my left leg, but it's very high up on the leg, kind of where the leg meets the hip, sort of. Well, yeah, the inner hip. What's the inner hip? The inside of the leg, right up under my torso.
Is it on your... It's not on your...
No.
Oh.
It's on my leg.
Okay.
It's just very high up on the inside.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
It's very high up on the inside part of the leg.
That's on the groin.
Yeah, although I would say the groin is not the leg. Is there any
Hard
leg
as
a rock? Stop, Holly. Is there any leg in the groin?
Don't stop, Holly. Is there leg in the groin?
Or
yes.
the groin is
where the turf meets the surf.
I don't know what the full definition of groin is.
It's your crotch.
It is in the crotchal region. Yes, that's certainly part of it. Yeah, and I just think it needs to be perhaps removed and inspected tastefully,
lovingly, delicately,
very delicately.
It's in the bikini area.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna throw up. So what is it?
I'm not sure.
What is happening?
It was on there, and then it became somewhat dislodged yesterday. And
how might it become dislodged?
I don't know
What are you doing?
if it was just chafing that caused that to happen, but it's kind of hanging now, and it stings a little. And I just thought I better make sure that I'm set up for an appointment.
Did you try some rubbing alcohol on it?
No, I feel like that might make it sting even more.
I may lose it. There's a decent chance that omelet comes up.
Jocelyn says it's probably just a nasty blackhead. Thank you for that medical assessment from the chat this morning, all the doctors out there.
Matt says it's probably leprosy. Jeffrey says, wait, this is a sports show? No. Not today. Not today. It's not.
This is an off-season sports show.
This is an off-season sports show.
We started today's show with a lot of gratitude, thanking all the listeners that we had yesterday, everybody that called in and just made it a very, very special, therapeutic show.
And now here we are.
We mentioned that Peter's wife, Sheil, was listening yesterday morning.
I hope she's not listening.
I hope more than anything that they took a break
At this point,
today.
I kind of hope no one's listening at all. But I know they are because I see you all out there. But
how did you dislodge it?
Put some toothpaste on it, says Simon.
Dry it. Yeah, dry it out. How'd you dislodge it? I
don't know.
Were you
Stroganoff?
I was gonna say, when you get a skin tag, your natural inclination is to like
pick at
it and twist it. I get skin tags, and I hate them so much.
Is that what this? I got this one back here.
My wife uses this apparatus on me to take mine off that has tiny little rubber bands that wrap around it, and it just stays on there until it turns black and falls off.
Like it chokes it off?
It chokes it off. Yeah, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. Well...
All right, well, if you want to join dermatology chat, 833-288-0973.
I legit I might lose my breakfast.
Yeah, I don't feel great.
I don't feel fantastic right now at all. And we have like 15 minutes
Let's
left.
see. Maybe Kelly will have a very long traffic report right now on 97.3 The Fan.
One can dream.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. Still a number of problems out here, guys. Overturned crash on westbound at 56, just past Carmel Valley Road. It's got the slow lane blocked. Still clearing a crash out of the HOV lane, South 5 coastline before Birmingham. Also, South 5 at the East 52 connector ramp, a collision going to find on the northbound 5 at Hawthorne Street. Collision involving a couple vehicles. Got the slow lane blocked. And watch out for a bumper on the transition ramp, northbound 805 at the 52 connector. In peak wildfire season, as a last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now, North County Doc, who has active duty family physician in his bio, says, I'm listening. Do not put toothpaste on it. Band-Aid with Vaseline to prevent further irritation.
There you go. Yeah, I wasn't going to put toothpaste on it. I don't take medical advice from our YouTube chat. I really
Nor
don't.
should you.
I have a dermatologist. My father-in-law is a dermatologist. So
Nice.
if I really needed expert advice, I know where to go, and it's not you tier ones out there on our YouTube chat. I am sorry. Matt says your Canna's skin tag method is like castrating a bull, essentially.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
Yeah, they use the rubber bands.
Didn't need that information either this morning.
I get them like on my back
I
a
don't
little
ever had a
bit.
skin tag.
No, you will.
I'm
You
sure I will.
I didn't when I was your age
Welcome
either.
to your 40s, Polly, when you get there.
I just turned 33.
You're fine.
You got a while.
Young
It's,
and healthy.
It's terrible.
We're going to get out to the phones here, 833-288-0973, talking about Blake Snell winning the Cy Young Award, but likely, at least as far as we know, not returning to the Padres. Who was it? Was it Joel Sherman, or was it who reported that the Padres were still
Heyman?
John Heyman still all in on Blake Snell?
Dodgers, Giants, Padres, all in on Snellzilla.
All in is strong terminology at this point.
Yeah,
from what we've been hearing for the Padres this offseason.
Well, I think if you're the Padres and those two teams are interested, you have to do everything you can to drive the price up on both of them.
That's fair. That's fair. I will say that when the Padres have been all in on someone in the last few years, in the Peter Seidler era, there's a good chance they were going to land that player. They didn't get everybody, but they made competitive or overly competitive offers to everybody that they were all in on. And yes, they didn't get Aaron Judge or Trey Turner, but they certainly offered enough money to get either of those players, and they landed just about everybody else it seemed like they were going after. So when you say or report that the Padres are all in on someone, that has a totally different meaning to me now than it did a few years ago. What I'm hearing, we haven't heard the Padres are all in on anyone at this point in the offseason.
No, like literally, that's the first one I've heard. That Blake Snell is the only guy that they're all in on right now. In fact, we've heard quite the opposite, that they're looking to unload pieces. John Heyman, I believe, is also the only one that said he doesn't see Juan Soto getting moved. So I don't know what kind of magic mushrooms John Heyman is on this offseason, but I'm assuming there are probably some.
Most of those national writers are always on the Padres hater mushrooms, though, so it's
Pretty
nice
much
to see one at least on the Padres are still doing stuff bandwagon for a change. Blake did say yesterday, talking with baseball writers after picking up their Cy Young honor, that what he's looking for in free agency is a team that can help him continue to be the best version of himself, and a team that is set up to win for years to come, presumably the length of whatever contract he's going to sign. Doesn't want to sign a 5-year deal somewhere with a team that has a rebuilding plan in the next 2 seasons. I totally understand that, and it kind of got the wheels turning. Like, so what organizations fit that mold for Blake Snell? Because there's a bunch of them out there. The question is, do the Seattle Mariners, the one that we've always speculated about, where Blake is from, where he lives, is that a team that you can say is built to win for years to come? When they have they made one playoff brief appearance 2 seasons ago, came up short like the Padres did this past season, have certainly some promising players, but you're playing in a division with the Houston Astros and now the Texas Rangers. And, the Angels have Ron Washington, so they say they're going to chase down. Ron said they're going to chase down the rest of the West, so you kind of got them.
Sweet.
Are the Seattle Mariners a team that satisfies Blake's requirement of set up to win for years to come? I don't know if they are or not. I
certainly
honestly
check
don't.
the first box, I think, right? Be the best version of himself.
Probably, although I can also see Blake going. I can see, as much as Blake loves Seattle, knowing that it might be too much for him.
Did you see how many people in his house last night? Yeah.
I will need to supply 90 tickets for every
I'll need a
start
whole section.
I make. Every time might not necessarily be in his quiet moments what he thinks is the best for him and his career success in Major League Baseball.
We, the talking heads, the national media, everybody that follows baseball, pretty easy to say this line, and we've all said it. He's going to go to the team that gives him the most money. Now, I don't think if the Kansas City Royals decided they had to have Blake Snell and they paid him the most money, I don't know that he would necessarily go there, right? I don't know that would happen.
Pittsburgh.
You're right. I don't think that would happen. I do feel like he wants to win. He wants to win a ring. He's a competitive dude. I do think Seattle is a great fit. I think the Dodgers are a good fit for Blake Snell because he is really good against them, and they have money to spend.
And they have a big pitching need.
And they're a team that's allegedly set up to win every year.
Especially if they don't bring Kershaw back as their left-hander, Snell does make a lot of sense.
No question about it. The San Francisco Giants. Now, that's the one where I look at and go, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that that's a team that I look at. Now, they surprise me.
Great Pitchers Park, though.
The great Pitchers Park. But they surprise me every year, seemingly. I can never really handicap what the Giants are going to do. They're going to be terrible. Oh, cool, they won 107 games. Oh, they're going to be really good. Oh, they had a massive collapse and didn't make the playoffs either. So I just can't handicap it. So I think if you're Blake Snell and you're looking at that, there's definitely positives to it. They just lost their pitching coach, Andrew Bailey. He left and went to Boston, I believe. And so he's a really good pitching coach. He knows what he's doing. But, imagine Logan Webb and Blake Snell at the top of a rotation. Pretty dirty. I think that would be of interest to him. I also see him going somewhere like, Texas. Imagine Texas going out and signing Blake Snell. Great fit. Great fit for him. So Arizona would be a really good fit for him as well. So I think my gut tells me he probably stays somewhere along the West Coast. But that's not necessarily true, man. If the Phillies throw a ton of cash at him.
I know Tampa Bay is generally not thought of because of their cheapness. If somehow they got out from under the Wander Franco deal, and there has been some rumblings that they're trying to do so because of the, obviously the legal issues with Franco, that maybe they would want to spend some of that money on pitching and a Blake Snell. I tend to doubt it, but you can see Blake. It satisfies. He knows he gets the best out of himself, and they usually are a setup for winning in Tampa Bay. So it may satisfy those requirements.
Yeah, people in the chat saying, look, the M's have a surplus of starting pitching, and they do. They're one of the teams mentioned. What they need is Juan Soto. They need Juan Soto.
And the Padres need pitching. There's a reason why those two clubs have been connected in it. Speculative trade talks in something that could possibly work if the Padres were dealing Juan Soto.
And trust me,
Bryce Miller, Brian Wu.
Jerry DePoto would love nothing more than to go to another trade with A.J. Preller after what he did in the last one. So I'd be a little bit leery of that one if I was A.J. Preller. You'd have to get a ton back for a one-year rental. Now, Seattle, though, is one of those teams where I don't know that Juan Soto is going to sign long-term in Seattle. I don't know that they're going to want to pay him long-term in Seattle as well. So that needs to be taken into consideration. But I'm ready for the chips to start falling. I'm ready for some of these guys to sign so we kind of get an idea of who's going where and then what's left.
Ben Wood's talking about the Blake Snell, and I see in the chat, I saw on social media yesterday after watching Blake, and a lot of his family members still wearing Padres
Yeah,
gear.
that was cool. The City Connect, his brother, I think.
I wouldn't read too much into
Nor would
that
I.
as a statement about where he's going in the future. That was his team this year. He is celebrated as a Cy Young winner for the San Diego Padres and will be all time.
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense that people were wearing. Now, if Blake Snell was still wearing his Padres jersey, maybe you read a little more into it, but the family, obviously, their Snell gear right now is Padres gear. So if they're going to be wearing Snell gear to support Blake Snell, it's going to be Padres gear.
I do think if the Padres figure it out financially to get into the conversation with Blake Snell, get a seat at the table, I think they're strong contenders.
He's not like, get me out of this place.
He's,
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
He's the unusual type of cat where like you just don't really know what he's thinking. And
well, here's what you know.
If we're talking 180 or 160, would he take that type of, quote unquote discount and stay where he knows everybody and he's comfortable?
I think
and
we
has
have
a house.
I think we have to get out of our head, though. I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot in this town. I hear it a lot on the radio of the hometown discount. I mean, there are very few Tony Gwynns out there. There just are very, very few of them. And, you've got guys that are loyal to their team.
We have one working here at this station.
That's true. Tony Gwynn Jr., that's true. But he went to multiple teams, right? So there's very few guys. Like, if you paid me $50,000 more to move to St. Louis, I wouldn't do it. If you paid me $500,000 more to move to St. Louis, I probably wouldn't do it. I love it here. So it's different in baseball, man. Like, that guy's just going to go out and do his job every fifth day. He wants a chance to win a ring. I don't know how he genuinely feels about this organization and where they're headed. Because with all of the smoke from this offseason, if I were a current Padre player, how would you feel right now if you were a current Padres player?
I think that's I'd feel great if Peter Seidler sat me down and told me what the plan was and that we're good. And now, of course, that can't happen anymore. So there are going to be a lot of questions and unknowns, even for the players, especially for free agents like Blake Snell this offseason.
I mean, and take what Michael Kay says with what's less than a grain of salt. He was
a grain
like
of sand.
A grain of sand. He said yesterday or the day before, look, don't be surprised if Manny and Tatis and Xander are up waving their arms wanting to get out of San Diego. I don't think it's that bad. I really, really don't think it's that bad. Padres fans should probably relax about that in particular. But I can't speak for Juan Soto. I mean, like, here's the other thing. If the Padres are wanting to cut costs, they're not going to say, hey, will you take Xander Bogaerts at pennies on the let us pay $150 million to get rid of him? I don't think so.
Well, and let's also, the reason why that Michael Kay scenario doesn't really worry me is that Xander and Manny and Tatis can all go to each other and go, hey, we want to be the core here. We all have no trade clauses. We are a good team. The three of us just together start the nucleus of any good team. If we want to be here in this community with these fans for the long term, we can do that. And we just make a pact to each other that we're not going anywhere and they're going to have to build around us the best team possible.
Well, I mean, the pact that they made was by signing massive long-term deals. That's your pact. You don't even have to get in a room over coffee and say, hey, let's stick together, guys. You don't have a choice.
You already did.
You did. You already did it when you signed your name to that paper.
And there's been no indication that the Padres have gone to any of them to ask whether they'd be interested or, even consider being dealt in a trade. Nothing like that has happened.
As dark as it seems right now for 2024 and what the team is going to look like, I honestly don't think it's that bad. I really, really don't.
I mean, Peter Seidler's quote, one of his last ones, there will never be a fire sale.
Yep.
Never. Not there won't be one in the next couple of years. There won't be one under my watch. It was there will never be a fire sale. If you traded Tatis and Manny and got them to waive no trade clauses, that's a fire sale.
Bro, you're not going to Petco Park if that happens.
There would be no bigger way to disrespect the memory of Peter Seidler than to instantly fire sale the minute he's gone.
And your fan base.
And make him a liar about one of the things that he was most, passionate and clear about with the Padres fan base.
If you trade those guys, you're not getting 3 million people in the next 3 seasons. You're just not. You got 3 million last year. You trade Manny, Xander, Tatis, any
if they're
one.
all there, we're still all going and watching
There
this
is
team.
no question because you feel like you have a shot. Interesting.
All right, we got 1 hour to go with Ben and Woods. This hour, we'll just let you know that we're going to have our biggest fan coming up in this next hour, so you don't want to miss that. In fact, it's about 15, 20 minutes away. Paulie's got some Reindl Report headlines as well, all coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods here on a Thursday morning. Biggest fan name coming up in 15 minutes. Stay tuned for that. Paulie's Reindl Report headlines ahead. Got a football threesome, which is always nice for you ahead in this hour
You doing okay
as
over there,
well.
Woods?
I don't feel good.
Too much skin tag talk?
I don't think so.
Something wrong with your omelet.
Maybe.
Would be
You were
sad.
going- you were going through
Did
it
the
in the
managers
last
give
break.
Woods food poisoning?
I think.
Was it intentional?
Adam
I wonder.
did serve you.
Adam's
I know.
nodding out
He
there.
brought it in here. I may have to go pull trigger.
Put eye drops in his omelet?
Yeah, that's a bit that works. Make you sick. I might have to go pull it.
Go ahead, and we can work without you for a couple of minutes. Okay,
He's really doing this.
we are down 33% of Ben and Woods here.
What'd
on
you do,
97.3
Adam?
The Fan. Just like the beginning of our week, it's back to the Ben and Paul show here on 97.3 The
He's
Fan.
really gonna
He
go,
is looking. I mean, Adam's eating the food right now. Doesn't seem to bother him at all. He's
Yeah.
just digging right in.
Do you feel good?
Woods
Okay?
is in the bath. I
feel fine.
I feel good from the mimosas, actually.
Yeah, I went and got another one.
But
Cheers.
Adam seems unperturbed by Woods' immediate distress that has him headed to the bathroom here.
Like he just kind of sat there in that 3-minute commercial break just now, just like.
While the cats
feel
will
good, you
play,
guys.
while the cat's away, the mice will.
If you mention golf,
We'll talk a little basketball here. We didn't ever mention. We were obviously focused completely on Peter Seidler yesterday. Don't think we even brought up the Aztecs basketball win over Long Beach State.
I think we did for about 30 seconds
On Tuesday night, but it was a solid win, a great offensive performance. Went through some of the numbers yesterday. Dutch talked about it as well. 20 assists on 28 baskets, which is really good. I mean, the ball movement that was missing the first couple of games was much better against Long Beach State. And the rebounding, which was missing the first couple of days, especially giving up offensive rebounds. They only gave up 3 offensive rebounds to Long Beach State, and they won the rebounding battle as well. But ultimately, scoring 88 points. Do you know this, Paul? That's the most they have scored against a Division I opponent, or tied for the most in the last 3 years, since I think they scored 88 against Air Force. So
Let's talk in San Diego State.
Basketball, that's what happens when you walk away. The cat is away. The
Did you,
mice will talk
did you do it?
Aztecs basketball.
I did.
Up or down? Out. Just out. I figured out was going to happen for sure. It's just a little bit better.
What the hell happened? What did they do to me?
I mean, we ate the same things, right? What did we have different? I had an omelet. You had an omelet.
Yeah.
Do you have bacon?
No. There was
I had
like
some
crumbled bacon on the top of
I
it.
didn't have that.
I didn't ask for that.
I didn't have any bacon in my omelet. I had the actual bacon. So potentially the bacon bits were the culprit.
I had to pull trigger.
All right. Why don't we'll let Paulie take over for a couple of minutes here with some Reindl Report headlines.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
Do I look green?
You've got me spun out a little bit. Now I'm wondering. Now I'm thinking about it too much.
Do I look green?
You don't look great.
You don't look
Do I not?
terrific.
Am I gray?
Flushed.
Will this be the great food poisoning incident of 2023 here at the manager's breakfast? So all of a sudden I'm starting to, and I don't know if it's just psychosomatic, but I'm starting to just like overthink things here. But if I go
People
running
are
off,
saying go poop. I'm not. I don't have to poop.
if
I'm
I go
nauseous.
running off, we may need to call a health emergency here at 97.3
Could
The
you
Fan.
imagine?
Adam, has anyone else reported any ill effects? Okay, no, everyone else seems to be fine.
I had no booze. I just had an omelet and some yogurt.
Maybe the yogurt.
Ooh.
The refrigerated. It's just sitting out there.
Yeah, it was just sitting.
Yeah.
Hot yogurt baking in the sun or the heat.
There's no sun here today.
Hot.
Paulie, what do you got for us?
I did throw up, cheater.
All right,
Go
gentlemen.
throw up. I did. I pulled trigger. Oh.
We've had stories in the past come from ridiculous threads on Reddit.
None more ridiculous than this.
Reddit
This is
is
insane.
one hell. You can go down some real rabbit holes there.
Stay away.
We've talked about, I'm like scrolling through. Barstool Sports actually did a pretty good job of cultivating a lot of these conspiracy theories. You guys remember the one? It was like a dissertation on James Harden's performances in every city in correlation to their
strip
ranking
clubs.
of strip clubs.
Yeah.
That came from Reddit.
They've been terrible, by the way, since he got there, right? I mean,
They have
like
lost
6 in a row.
every single game
Here was a thread
since he arrived in the Clippers.
on baseball Reddit. One new rule to fix the 3 true outcomes: poor viewership and weak free agency. You shoot the batters if they strike out. That had a long ass viral thread.
Right.
Well, this week's viral thread on NBA Reddit just says, should the Brooklyn Nets kill 5 of their players to trigger a disaster draft to improve their roster?
What? Should they kill 5 of their players?
Yes. The post says here, the NBA disaster draft is a contingency plan to be used when 5 or more players on a team have died or have been dismembered.
God.
Now, I believe
This is something that actually exists.
Yes.
There's
I believe every
a
league-
disaster draft.
I mean, I think it's like if like a team plane goes down
Oh,
or
God,
something
I don't
like
want to
that.
talk about it.
That's what the rule is there for. This guy says, in the draft, the team whose players died will be able to draft the amount of players from other teams equivalent to how many they had lost, like a fantasy draft. And the other teams in the league are allowed to protect 5 players from being drafted. But many teams have good 6th men on the team that would be available, with the Nets having bad contracts on underperforming such as Ben Simmons, but they could just kill 2-way players and bench warmers to fill out those 5 kills to get to the disaster draft.
And then maybe you could like pick up a Rui Hachimura from the Lakers or something.
This
that
says,
way.
according to Bill Simmons, if this were to ever happen where a team had to use the disaster draft, they also get the first pick in the next year's draft. Now, this next draft class is weak, so I could understand their hesitancy in being a repeat offender, that is, killing 5 players on your team on 2 separate occasions could raise some eyebrows. But this could still greatly improve them. No doubt, killing your players with bad contracts and then killing your bench warmers for 6th men would greatly improve them and other teams. What do you guys think? And should other teams do this? And who should they kill? Do you guys think the Brooklyn Nets should do this?
No, I do not.
Okay, good.
I think that would get you in a heap of trouble.
First of all, why are we jumping right to killing them when dismembering is perfectly good option sitting there?
We're going to build a shed this weekend. I want you all on the saw.
Not
the
you.
electric
I
saw.
want you.
I'm thinking of some sort of, like the movie Saw contraption where they miss a free throw and your arm gets lopped off or something.
That's a terrible Reddit thread. That's unbelievable.
Sports fans are crazy. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. That's never really been in question. Sports fans, for the most part, are lunatics. But this takes the cake.
Athletes can be lunatics, especially when it comes to superstitions. And this week, Patrick Mahomes was on the Manning cast on Monday night with Peyton and Eli. And it was actually, I did see a clip from that going around where he called a scoring drive. Like they were on the 30-yard line, probably call it. Denver was. And they're like, you think they're going to run or they're going to pass? Peyton and Eli. And then Mahomes goes, I'm thinking run, pass for a touchdown. Guaranteed. Next 3 plays. Run, pass for a touchdown.
Did you guys talk about that game, by the way, that Bills-Broncos game?
I don't think so.
That was terrible.
Maybe for like a minute.
Yeah, maybe for a second or something.
Anyways, Patrick Mahomes went on that same broadcast and said that he wears the same pair of underwear for every single game and has since his rookie year. He said he does wash them.
Occasionally.
Sometimes.
Not like every day.
Doesn't wash them every day?
He doesn't wash them every game. I mean, he wears the same underwear every game and always has.
I only wear them
he
for
washes
game day,
them.
though. Noting so that they're not too worn down or, quote, nasty, because he only wears them on game days. I clean them, I wash them every once in a while at least.
Feels like...
He says, I mean, if we're on a hot streak, I can't wash them, I've just got to keep it rolling.
I mean, I'm okay with re-wearing clothes that haven't been washed, but if you exercise in underwear, that is an absolute 100% has to be washed.
One
for
drop.
me.
If you wear underwear twice without washing it, you need to go away.
You could dislodge your skin tag that's in your crotch. if you exercise in the same shorts. Maybe that was your problem.
I don't, though. I always wash underwear that has been exercised in. Okay. I will admit that if I put on like boxer briefs late in the day, like 4 o'clock, I will wear them again the next day.
That is, you sleep in them.
No, I'll sleep in my pajamas.
You wear pajamas?
And then I'll take them off. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, like pajama shorts.
What are pajama shorts?
Just like soft, cozy, like
you have
like
those?
Short, like sweats, but they're short.
Are they gym shorts?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, gym shorts.
But they're pajama shorts, you said.
For me, they're pajama
what
shorts.
What are the, what's on them?
Nothing. They're like basketball shorts.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part.
And you'll wear the same underwear?
Well, if I don't sleep in it, sometimes I'll take it off. And then
You
I'll
sleep
put
commando?
Sometimes.
That's how you dislodged it then?
Maybe.
Probably. Okay. I'm interested to know that you wear pajamas after 5 years.
I mean, doesn't everybody call what they wear to bed their PJs?
No, I sleep in my underwear.
Not your PJs.
I don't wear PJs.
Well,
it's 1,000 degrees at night, I feel like.
I mean, I don't wear like big, heavy flannel PJs.
Why do I picture you in
the stocking cap?
The cap with the ball on it, with Ma in her kerchief and Pa in his cap. I just settled down to a long winter's nap. I'm going to vomit again. Sucks. Sorry.
Finally, a little sportsy here, but headline reads, this is from Liverpool. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but we're talking about a race, a foot race, if you would. Josiah Zakruski. She was banned for 12 months from competitive racing because, well, she used a car in the middle of that race.
Nodded.
I thought this was going to be one of those like cut corners on the course,
we're talking. She finished third. And she
didn't win?
She didn't even win.
She got in a car.
But she did accept the medal.
Win?
She got a trophy. And then after the fact, tracking information showed that she traveled for 2.5 to 3 miles by car before getting out and then continuing the race.
It's a good bit. It's a good bit if you can get away with it.
She actually admitted to it, but refused to give back the awards.
Is it actually written in the rules that you can't drive in a car?
I don't know. I'm going to throw up, though.
All right. Bye, Woods.
I guess we just need to call it short here and go to break. So Woodsy can go
all right.
Vomit again.
97.3 The Fan Traffic Center. Here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by BMW. Well, they finally cleared that crash of the HOV lane on southbound 5 near Birmingham. Now it's South 15's turn. Accident Rancho Parkway's got the left lane blocked. We still have this rollover crash blocking the right lane westbound 56 past Carmel Valley Road. Also traveling on the northbound 5 right around Pershing. We have reports of a semi blocking middle lanes. Now through November 30th during the BMW Road Home Sales event. Lease an all-electric 2024 BMW i5 eDrive 40 for $719 per month for 36 months with $7,069 due at signing. Details at SoCalBMW.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It may be the baseball offseason, but 97.3 The Fan is always covering the Friars. Stream San Diego's #1 sports station anywhere with the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Ben here. Woods is losing weight as we speak, but I wouldn't say it's a safe and sustainable method of weight loss that Woods is choosing this morning. In fact, it's quite problematic. If you're looking for weight loss that works and then you keep it off, may I suggest SDFatLoss.com. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. I have kept the weight off for 3+ months now, and I am showing no signs of slowing down, even during the holiday season with manager breakfasts going well. And it's all because it's just a well-thought-out program with great support, great counselors, a great app where I track my weight, track my food. Once I got into the good habits, though, it really is actually hard to break the other way. I am set up for success thanks to SDFatLoss.com. You can be as well. Just call them for a free consultation, 858-665-3211, or go online to SDFatLoss.com. There's no drugs, hormones, injections, nothing like that. You don't have to buy any prepackaged foods, just eating real foods smartly and then losing weight up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in 60 days. But you do have to call to get started, 858-665-3211, or online at SDFatLoss.com.
With Black Friday appliance savings all month long at the Home Depot, we're making the holidays merrier by making holiday hosting easier with our lowest prices of the year on Whirlpool kitchen appliances. Get everything you need to store all your holiday favorites
Dinner's ready.
and the leftovers with top brand kitchen appliances at a great value. Save up to $2,300 on select kitchen packages, including top brands like Whirlpool with Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
I think we're lost again.
Wait, what does that sign over there say?
Caution wildlife crossing?
No, next to it.
If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. Ouch. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Everyone deserves to enjoy a McRib at least once in their lifetime. Because when you're this saucy and tangy and tasty, a life without one creates a serious case of FOMO. The McRib is back.
Don't miss the classic McRib, especially with 20% off any purchase of $10 or more on the app. So add fries and a drink and make it a meal. Limited time only at participating McDonald's. Valid once per day. Visit McDonald's app for details. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Our Cox mobile plans are like a band. The more people you add, the better it sounds. So add more lines to save more. Pay as low as $30 per line when you add 4 or more gig unlimited lines. It's easy. I like the sound of that. Visit cox.com/mobile. 4 lines required for $30 per line. Price max of 5 lines. Prices exclude taxes, device activation, and other fees and charges, which are subject to change. Cox postpaid internet required. Other restrictions apply.
More laughs and hijinks coming up right around the corner. Ben and Woods back in 2 minutes.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Get big savings and big rewards now during Provember at Lowe's. Right now, new and existing MVPs can get 50% off an NFL Plus premium annual subscription and get access to live local and primetime games on mobile, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, and more. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. New and qualified returning NFL Plus subscribers only. Limited time offer. Promotional pricing applies to this year only. Plan automatically renews until canceled. Terms and conditions apply. Offer ends 11/30. Get big savings and big rewards now during Provember at Lowe's. Right now, new and existing MVPs can get 50% off an NFL Plus premium annual subscription and get access to live local and primetime games on mobile, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, and more. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. New and qualified returning NFL Plus subscribers only. Limited time offer. Promotional pricing applies to this year only. Plan automatically renews until canceled. Terms and conditions apply. Offer ends 11/30.
Things are a little different in here now.
And what's okay? Well, manager's breakfast. I don't want to say that it was a disaster because I loved my omelet and I
Do you
feel
get food
fine.
poisoning that quickly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
In like 30 minutes?
your body. I mean, for some people, I think if your body knows this should not be in here, it gets rid of it really fast. Now that I don't do that. I will probably let it pass all the way through at some point and maybe pay later, but I don't. I'm not a vomiter. I don't throw up. Just don't.
Yeah.
I basically have chosen not to. I know some people say you can't choose not to throw up. I do.
I don't
Even
think
if
I've
I'm
thrown up
queasy,
in-
I just.
It's probably been 4 years.
Yeah.
Little
Some
over 4
people
years.
will just do it to make themselves feel better, and they can just do it, and then it's done. And I may envy that ability a little bit. I don't have it. I can't vomit like on command, make myself like stick my finger down my throat and make myself. I can't do it. I can't. But Woods wasn't feeling good, had 2 trips to the restroom, and we have sent him home for the rest of the program.
I think Adam told him to get out of here.
Yeah, no,
You're
that was
sick.
the correct.
Go away.
That was the correct response to Woods' condition. So, just like we started the week, it is back to Ben and Paul. Fortunately, we only have 37 minutes to go, and this segment will be filled by today's football threesome.
Interest you in a threesome?
A threesome would be fun.
Oh, not that kind of threesome.
Dang it!
We're talking end-arounds, the best tight ends in the world.
He must work out.
And going all the way in this game of inches.
Nice.
It's the NFL Threesome with Ben and Woods. Brought to you by Hamul Casino. Fun above all else on 97.3 The Fan.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Love that open. It is always fantastic. We'll start the football threesome on this Thursday with some quarterbacking news out of the AFC North, where Deshaun Watson was actually coming off maybe his best performance, at least in the second half, and leading the Cleveland Browns to that come-from-behind victory over the Baltimore Ravens last week. He was outstanding in the second half, but as it turned out, he was playing through what they didn't realize was a fracture in his throwing shoulder. They did an MRI on Monday, revealed Watson had a displaced fracture to the glenoid in his right shoulder, and it's going to require season-ending surgery, meaning the guy with the football's biggest contract, the most ridiculously overpaid player in the game, is once again out for the season. He talked yesterday with reporters, was emotional, said it's very tough. He's heard about it, still in disbelief, trying to process all the information. I felt like we were turning a corner to really make a run. Still believe we will with the guys in this locker room. I just wanted to physically be a part of it. It's tough to try to wrap everything around my head right now. Of course, Watson had both the injuries and off-the-field issues with the Houston Texans before he was traded, and what still remains, I don't... When you take someone else's problem on, you don't generally have to give up tons of draft picks and pay so much money. That's the essence of why everyone was going, what are you doing, Cleveland Browns? I know you need a quarterback, but couldn't you have just waited it out a little bit? And, you might have gotten Deshaun Watson for pennies on the dollar. They didn't pay pennies on the dollar for Deshaun Watson. They paid premium for Deshaun Watson, and they've barely gotten any Deshaun Watson, at least effective Deshaun Watson now in almost 2 years. So the Cleveland Browns, who are having a good season, they got a good defense. They're 6-3, are going to their backup quarterback. But I thought that was going to be P.J. Walker. He's been the guy who's been the backup so far when Watson's been out earlier this year. But instead, they have named rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of UCLA as the starter for their game against the Steelers this Sunday, according to Coach Kevin Stefanski. So,
first time I've ever heard that name.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback at UCLA the last couple of seasons.
Take your word for it.
I mean, UCLA wasn't a great team, but he was pretty good quarterback. Didn't know that he was, honestly, I didn't remember he was on the Browns. I assumed P.J. Walker was going to start, but going to be DTR taking the snaps under center for the Browns, who are absolutely still in playoff contention. And I honestly don't know if losing Deshaun Watson's that big of a deal. They won some games with P.J. Walker. Maybe they'll win some games with Dorian Thompson-Robinson as well, but we'll see what happens going forward.
All right. What am I doing? Thursday Night Football?
Thursday Night Football.
Okay, Thursday Night Football. A pretty good game tonight. Not a lot of great Thursday night games typically in the National Football League, but tonight the 7-3 Baltimore Ravens are going to host the 5-4 Cincinnati Bengals. It's a 3.5-point spread. Baltimore favored in this one tonight. And that's one that'll get me to tune in at least for a little bit.
Well, this is an absolutely critical game for the Bengals on the road. This the AFC North, we just talked about it. Tough division. You got the Ravens at 7-3, the Steelers and Browns, who are playing each other this Sunday, 6-3, and the Bengals at 5-4. So think about this. The Bengals, if they lose, and they've bounced back nicely after their slow start, but if they lose, they'll be 5-5. The Ravens will be 8-3, and the winner of the Steelers-Browns game will be 7-3. So they're going to be, 2 and 2.5 games out of the first two spots in their division. Doesn't mean they couldn't come back and still, win a wild card at some point, but that would be a big mountain to climb after 11 weeks of the season to chase down two teams that are more than 2 games ahead of you in the same division. So if the Cincinnati Bengals have any thoughts on a home game in the playoffs or even a bye, it feels like a must-win game.
Going to need this one.
And you also feel like the Ravens, they're not going to want to lose twice in a row to division opponents at home like they did last week to the Browns. So this is a pretty essential game. Thursday night is always a good advantage for home teams. The Ravens have the best point differential in all of the National Football League this season at plus 113, and they're only, 3.5 point favorites?
Yeah, 3.5.
I like the Ravens in this one.
I do
tonight. I do.
I'll take the Ravens and the points.
Don't know for our third football threesome story. I don't know if you have them available still in your Survivor picks.
Baltimore?
Yeah, and I don't know if you'd risk it on a Thursday night game against an opponent, quarterback as good as the Bengals.
I've already used Baltimore.
I have as well.
I have the Bengals.
Now, it's still down to just you, me, and Adam in our little Survivor pool.
Right.
In the bigger one, the 100-person afternoon show pool, which all the hosts have been long gone except for me. There's only 6 left. We lost 3 of the 9 this last weekend.
Okay.
So we're down to the final 6. I have used a lot of the good teams now, though, as you would expect. Now, starting in week 1 and that. So I've made 10 picks. I've made 10 correct picks throughout the season so far. And
I don't think you're alone, because when I'm looking at Yahoo Sports and the pick distribution across all of their Survivor pools on the site, Washington is the clear number 1 most picked team in Survivor pool this week.
Only
because
they're playing the Giants.
But the 4-6 Commanders taking on the 2-8 Giants. Now, that's probably a smart choice, but I would be hesitant to risk anything on Washington getting the job done.
So you know who I still have available, and I have made the selection. I have Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions still there. Are we picking the same again? So there's no way that either one of us can win this week again.
That's 7-2 Lions taking on the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, they're at home. They're coming off, obviously, nice win over the Chargers last week. Had that one bad week, but otherwise it feels like Detroit's a legit good team, and it definitely feels like Chicago is a legit bad team. I feel pretty confident in a home divisional matchup. The divisional matchups can be a little trickier. I think they're more... You get more upsets in the divisional games because you see them twice. You're more familiar. You do see more upsets that way, but I've already used, 49ers who are at home. Buffalo, hard to trust them. They're at home to the Jets if you haven't used them. Jacksonville, some people were picking home to Tennessee. Jacksonville has been wildly inconsistent, though, this season. They just got slaughtered by the Niners last week. As Paulie said, you go with Washington, but that's a sub-500 team to go in a Survivor pick pool. This is another tricky week, definitely. And then Monday Night Football is Eagles-Chiefs. I got to imagine anyone who's still alive in a Survivor pool has already used the Eagles or the Chiefs at some point, and you wouldn't want to use them now.
I have one of those teams available, but I'm not using it this week.
It's tough to do it in this week against such a good opponent, so that game's pretty much out of the equation as well.
I've got the Eagles still remaining, but I'm holding on to that one.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a horrible spot to use them on the road against Kansas City in the Super Bowl rematch. You just can't do
Monday
that.
Night Football, no.
It's good to have them in pocket, though. I imagine they probably got a lesser opponent coming up pretty soon.
Now, the Ben and Woods League, like you said, it's only down to 3. It's down to you, me, and Adam. And often we are all picking, at least 2 of the 3 of us are picking the same teams.
Yeah.
We still have 8 more selections, 8 more weeks of picks. I don't think until we're like in the final 5 weeks do you have to start thinking kind of outside of the box and maybe trying to...
I don't think I picked a road team all season long. Certainly, I mean, last week was the one, my closest pick. I think Pittsburgh was like a 3.5 point favorite at home, and they did hold on against Green Bay, but they're starting to get a little tougher at this point in the season for Survivor picks. All right, that's our football threesome. We got one final segment left. I don't know what Woods had planned, but since he is now gone... we can open up the phone lines. Maybe some Tier 1 topic wheel? Can we do that without Woods?
I think we need to.
All right.
Yeah.
If you want to join us for some Tier 1 topic wheel, we haven't done it all week long. Let's finish this show on a light note. 833-288-0973. Call in. We'll spin the wheel. Random topics with Tier 1s coming up next year on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We had to send Woods home with some gastric distress after our manager's breakfast. I just talked to him. I said, I'm going to need you all to come in here for the interrogation. They all deny that they intentionally poisoned Woods this morning.
Likely story.
It is curious that no one else has suffered any ill effects from the manager's breakfast.
No, we all ate. We all ate served by them.
Everyone here has been eating. Everyone here feels fine. But Woods twice had to run to the bathroom, and we have sent him home. So we're going to just finish casually today with some Tier 1 topic wheel. We got Jamie first up. If you want to join us, 833-288-0973. Let's do Jamie, then we'll do traffic, and we'll get some more callers on the line. But call on now, 833-288-0973. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
We're good. We're good. Yeah, better than Woods apparently this morning. Let's spin the wheel and see what topic we've got to finish up here today.
All righty.
On hockey. On hockey.
All right, Jamie, we'll start with you. What is your favorite holiday tradition?
That's appropriate for this time of year.
It is, but maybe you have an Easter tradition or
That's
a 4th of July
it
tradition.
Could be any holiday. It doesn't have to be the holidays.
Well, I grew up in Canada, and my favorite holiday tradition was always Junior Hockey World Championships starting on Boxing Day in Canada, which is the day after Christmas.
So can you explain the difference in a Boxing Day versus Christmas? I obviously grew up here. We have Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, but I know in some countries Boxing Day, is that when you actually give the gifts, or is that when you return the gifts? Or I've never been totally clear on Boxing Day.
Boxing Day is Christmas is a little more formal. You don't want to go out and party and go crazy. You have fun with the family. Boxing Day is more of a traditional. You have a few beer or whiskey, whatever keeps you warm, and you watch. For us in Canada, junior hockey is a big deal, and there's also some NHL hockey on.
All right, so it's drunk sports Christmas in Canada is Boxing Day, essentially. Well, here in this country,
imbibing in a few pops.
Yeah, in this country, I don't think anyone has any problem drinking on Christmas, and we've got plenty of sports all day on Christmas as well in the United States. We got NBA all day long. Now we've got usually NFL football on Christmas Day as well.
Yep.
There's never any shortage of sports, so we don't need a Boxing Day on the 26th. We take care of all of it in the American fashion on the 25th. It's one of the sportsiest of holidays now.
What's your favorite holiday tradition, Benjamin?
I would say my favorite holiday tradition.
You need me to go while you think?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm trying to think what my favorite one is.
Let's see. So I'm just going to roll with Christmas since it's coming up here in the next month and a half. My favorite tradition that me and my wife have is a gift that I get for her every single year. It's a fun gift that I put together. I give her a calendar for the next upcoming year. And the entire calendar is custom made with every month. So like January 2024, the big picture on the calendar is all photos of us or us doing stuff from January of the previous year.
Oh.
And then February and then March. So it's kind of a look back at the last year. And so like right now we have November up on the calendar and we're like, oh yeah, that's right. We went to that and we did that. And she looks forward to it every year, flipping through all of it. It's kind of a trip back memory lane over the last year.
You are really a sweetheart, Paulie. Absolutely.
I try.
You're going to be married for a very long time. That's such a nice, sweet thing to do every Christmas. Now,
it's fun.
It ruins the surprise. I think my favorite tradition, and it kind of wanes a little bit as the kids get older, but when you have kids and you do something to make their Christmas morning like light up, like when they come down and see whatever it is around the tree or, whatever stunning thing that they've got. I mean, that really is the essence of Christmas if you're a parent. And that was always one of my favorite things. As they get a little older, it changes a little bit, obviously, and it's more about the quiet moments and just kind of enjoying time. I like tree time. We always, when I was a kid, once the Christmas tree is up, you just, put on the Christmas music, turn the lights down, enjoy just sitting around the twinkling tree, maybe have some hot chocolate or something. Not necessarily even on Christmas, but just those quiet moments of December. Always really enjoyed that a ton growing up.
Yeah.
All right, that's just that easy. If you want to be part of our Tier 1 topic wheel, you can call us 833-288-0973. We're going to spin it again coming up. First, though, let's get one more check of traffic here with Kelly on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Improvements in the North County. Crash has been moved over the right shoulder, South 15 at Via Rancho Parkway. Unfortunately, we're still seeing a lot of residual all the way from the 78. And that overturn accident has been cleared over the right shoulder on westbound 56 at Carmel Valley Road. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Spinning the topic wheel here in our final segment of Ben and Woods. You can call in, or if not, we'll just spin it ourselves. Here, let's take the next caller here. Who's this? You're on the air with Ben and Woods.
Hey, it's Sean Stiles calling in.
Sean Stiles? Can I blame you for the rain this week? Sean, I'm supposed to play golf this weekend.
I'm sorry, but you can't blame me, but you can give me the honor of saying I was correct in my forecast.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I mean, so was Megan. I got to defend our own meteorologist as well. But, Sean, you want to play Tier 1 topic wheel with us?
Well, I wasn't intending to. I was just going to tell you what Boxing Day really meant.
Okay,
but
all right.
I
like that too.
All right, we can do both. First, give us the Boxing Day, and then we'll spin the wheel with a question for you. Sean Stiles, local meteorologist with us.
From CBS8.
Yes, I know. I don't say it. It's the competition.
I'll say it. You're friendly enough to call into our show.
Yes,
I'll
thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
Well, when it comes to sports, I know where to call the most informative show in town, so that's why I'm calling.
Thank you, Sean.
Hey, so the original meaning of Boxing Day, it originated in the UK or Great Britain. It was when the poorer people, the people that were less fortunate, were given gifts from the rich people. And, of course, it has manifested into a party, and now it's totally different. But the original meaning or the original cause was to give the less fortunate presents on the day after Christmas.
So the rich people would all open their gifts, and then they'd say, "Oh, I got 3 of these. Let's give it to the serfs as their Boxing Day present the next day." Oh, that's sweet. That's a nice tradition. Absolutely. Well, I think I like the watching hockey and drinking aspect of it a little bit more when it comes to think about it. All right, now that you're here, Sean, you got to play topic wheel. So let's spin it here.
Oh my goodness!
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, you should be fine.
You never know.
I mean, there are some dicier questions sometimes. We'll see.
This will be
easy, Sean.
All right, Sean. We'll start with you. Topic wheel asks, what was your first car?
Galaxy 500.
Galaxy 500. What even is that?
It's a Ford. It was a
Ford Galaxy. Okay.
Ford Galaxy 500. It was the family car, and my dad got a new car, and he held on to that car, and so I got a 61 Galaxy 500 with a 390 V8 in it.
Nice.
That is very cool, Sean. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate
Thanks,
it. That was really cool of you to help explain Boxing Day and get the forecast right out there for our rainy weekend. That's Sean Stiles from the competition, CBS8. Thanks for letting us know. So my first, my own car, I got a Ford Explorer, like the 2-door, the really smaller SUV, but that was really cool. I had that for a long time. But technically, for a couple of months before I was able to get my own car, Dad was getting rid of his old car. It was an old Beamer. So I actually got to drive a Beamer for a couple of months.
Of course
I did, to start my driving experience. Yep. So I got to drive the used Beamer for a couple of months, and that was pretty cool.
Oh my God! My first car, I bought it a couple of months before I turned 16. Got caught joyriding. It was a 1993 Ford Probe, a little red sports car that they discontinued shortly after 1993.
That's a horrific name.
Yeah,
for a
it was
car.
not good. It was not good.
Probe.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Does anyone
want to go for a ride in my Probe?
Does anyone want to be probed in their Ford.
Had the stupid like flip up headlights that just came up from the hood, and that was my first car. Bought it myself from a friend of my mom's. They were selling a car.
I mean, it always means more when it, you earned it yourself and you had to buy it yourself.
And I drove that thing into the freaking ground.
All right, 833-288-0973. I think we have time for one or two more. Is this John?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how about a 1973 white with orange trim, orange shag carpet Ford Pinto with the sunroof?
Oh,
not
the
electric.
70s Pinto.
Oh, it was a sweet ride, man. It got me, you know what? I don't know why they loved that shag carpet back in the day.
I mean, it's kind of, when you think about it, it's kind of gross to have shag carpet in a car. But all right, John, but you get a whole new question here on the topic
What kind
wheel.
of things are you doing in your front seat,
Right,
man?
exactly.
Come on.
How do you clean that thing anyway? All right, John, you get your own wheel spin, though. Here we go. Let's go.
Here we go, John.
Okay, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I hear a spin.
You're getting a new question. All right, John, what is your favorite way to exercise?
My favorite way to exercise?
Yeah, lift weights, run. What do you like to do?
I guess just lifting weights. I can't think of anything right now.
16 ounces at a time, right?
32, baby.
32 ounces at a time. Really? There you go. Those are the best kinds of weightlifting, one after the other.
Yeah.
You know me, Paulie. I'm a Peloton man through and through, and Leanne is my instructor, and I've taken like 95% of my classes. I'm almost at 600 rides now since the pandemic started. I'm at 190 weeks straight. Keep that going. I'm a Peloton guy. That's how I work out.
Good. I'm a basketball. Get some cardio, running a few
I've
games.
seen your team. You do run a lot. You
We
get
do.
full court. You don't play. You don't mess around with this half court stuff. You do the full court basketball
tier
for the
ones.
real workout.
Got a big game tonight.
By the
We'll be
way,
there.
I just Googled worst car names, and the first one
gotta
that
be the
came up
Probe.
was the Ford Probe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This feels like this
So-
could be a real or fake segment at some point. Have you ever heard of the Volkswagen Thing?
No.
Or the Dodge Dart Swinger?
I have heard of that.
The Ford Escort was another troublesome Ford brand.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's the Subaru Brat. This is a Daihatsu Naked. They had the Honda Life Dunk. I haven't even heard of some of these. But I mean, I'm going to save some of these for a future edition of Real or Fake because some of these are too good.
Yeah, I think they in the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken, Ford had, for their like smaller sports car style models, they had the Ford Probe and something called the Ford Mustang. And they ended up discontinuing the Probe to put all of their attention into the Mustang line. And I think that was probably the right choice.
Yeah, I would say so. All right, let's go to Brandon. Let's get one more spin of the topic wheel in here before we say goodbye. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning. You mind if I just run through all those?
You get your own question. That's the way it works.
You want to run through all of the questions we've done already? I mean, holiday traditions, car, exercise.
Boom, that's just rapid fire. So, yeah, tradition, we like to do Eggs Benedict on morning of Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Wait, you eat Eggs Benedict before your Thanksgiving meal?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, more so on Christmas.
Yeah.
Like the larger helping, but I'll still whip up something we can run around the family, you know. I like to cook every once in a while. That's where I shine, and then I get to take the rest of the day off, you know, because I cook breakfast. They're like, "Oh, you already helped," and I'm like, "Yep." So front load that thing, you know. But
He's making himself laugh.
Don't know much about it, but it sounds good. I don't mind watching a little hockey and having a little beer. First car was a '95 Civic hatchback that I put subwoofers and speakers into back in the day when people used to do that stuff. Detachable face disc, you know, all that stuff.
Terror of the neighborhood, I'm sure, Brandon.
Yeah. And then I like to ride with my dogs.
All right, for
That's how I get my
exercise.
cardio
All right,
on.
quick
So,
spin for one last question here. Hang on, Brandon. We got to spin one last time.
Right there. interesting. What smell, image, or sound triggers nostalgia for you?
Nostalgic smells, huh?
Smell, image, sounds.
So, I mean, obviously holiday music does it, but I would think more so like walking into the house and smelling the smells of, baked goods, just anything over the holidays and stuff I think is the most triggering because you do that a little bit more systematically and you try to keep those traditions alive as opposed to it just being like any other day.
Yeah,
I'd say something like that.
For the holidays for sure, Brandon. I don't know. I think food is very nostalgic triggering. But for me, like nostalgia is what you ate when you grew up. The smell of SpaghettiOs, to me, takes me instantly back to childhood. I ate lots of SpaghettiOs growing up, and when I smell them, you feel like you're back as a kid again. I'm not saying they're not
How
disgusting.
often do you smell
SpaghettiOs? Every once in a while. It happens still, because I like that nostalgia, and I still like SpaghettiOs every once in a blue moon. But I think probably because of the nostalgia.
Mine would be probably, and it happened yesterday, but it's kind of a smell, image, and sound, and it's the rain. I don't like the rain very much.
Seattle boy.
But I did grow up very much in the rain, and so when it happens once every several months down here, it does kind of bring me back a little bit, and I like the smell of rain. Like when you go outside after it just rained, you do get that smell.
I think it was Megan who said yesterday that smell that we associate is a bacteria in the soil. And when it gets wet, that's the smell we actually associate with rain because, water doesn't really smell like anything.
Right.
So that is not actually the rain that you're smelling. It's a soil bacteria that just kind of blossoms in the rain that we smell. All right. I hope Woods feels better tomorrow. We will be back with the Friday edition of Ben and Woods at 6 a.m. Coach Braden coming up next for Paul Reindl. I'm Ben Higgins. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday on 97.3 The Fan. So long.